I'm just going to set things off. Make sure I can get to the watch screen. Right. It still says Nier Automata, doesn't it? Bloody hell, I have to change that as well. Like, that's one thing that gone wrong with the stream since the very beginning. I got the wrong. I spelt it wrong the whole time. So I thought it would be smart to just like. I spelt it. So I thought it'd be smart to just basically go on to the. Basically, just go on. You know when you get the like quick option to just type in what you put on in the like keyboard for like the PlayStation 4. Well, I thought that it would be a good idea to do that, and little did I know that I spelt it wrong when I did it, which wasn't good. So I basically skipped most of the game with 9S because it's basically the same game as before. And completely forgotten where I need to go now. Oh, I think I remember where we need to go. I like how you can just teleport here when you have unlocked it, which is pretty handy. But yeah, this is where I'm continuing on with the stream, simply because this is the point in the game where the story kind of changes, in the sense that you, like, 2B and 9S actually separate. So yeah, other than that, there are a few changes in the story, but not many. It's basically just you playing from 9S's perspective, and since he's always with 2B, you're experiencing the same stuff. So there's some hacking to do. Yeah, the thing about 9S is he's kind of a lot easier to play than 2B, in a way, because his hacking is so powerful, and you can kill enemies really quickly with it. But what I do want to do is to actually trigger the event, which would be a good idea, because if I recall, you have to actually go here to trigger the event. But yeah, we have to go to the flooded city. Now, what you missed was me going back through a lot of areas. Like, the last area I went through was the forest, and I made some progress, and I got to listen to the music. It's pretty awesome, like the entire soundtrack is. I really do like the music of the forest a lot. It's kind of got that more epic vibe to it, which is pretty cool. I would actually say that I prefer the instrumental version to the vocals. Kind of. Well, it's not that the vocals are bad, it's just that I really like the instrumental version a lot. As it's just that really epic music, and I like that sort of music. It really fits the location, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. But where I want to head now is the flooded city, which is where the story changes. Now, I remember doing this with 2B, this section, and it's kind of annoying, this section. I wasn't too fond of it. But we're going to do this again, and this time we're going to do some hacking. Yeah, we've actually triggered the event this time, actually going through. Pretty much. But you can just teleport
Why
there.
must we read all these books, brother?
Knowledge expands horizons and enriches existence.
But can't we just transfer all this data over instantly?
Into your head, perhaps, but not to your heart.
I guess. Hey, so...
Yes?
my name? Eve? This book says it's a woman's name.
Eve kind of looks like Dante a little bit.
Shouldn't we be called Cain and Abel or something instead?
Humans wouldn't change names so easily. Besides, you should be proud of the name Eve.
Huh.
Isn't Eve a woman's name?
Well, if that's what you think, then I'm fine with it.
Glad to hear it. Is there something else?
After we're done reading, can we go out and play? I'm sure it'll be tons of fun.
All right, but only after we're finished.
You mean it? Then I'm gonna try extra hard to finish this. Extra, extra hard!
You do that.
Right. So yeah, that's another little extra scene that you get in 9S's playthrough. You get to see those two talking a lot. There's some pretty amusing bits with them, but I don't really think it's that important to show it. Like, if you really want to know, just play the game yourself. Like, it's the best thing to do, because it's not really... I can't really say that it's anything critical to what's actually going on right now. And it's not really anything too critical to the story either.
I suppose it's going to attack me, right?
Plus,
This machine type purposely seeks out androids in
I
order
found
to
this guy's
enact
weakness.
revenge. It should...
Yeah, these guys have a weakness now. Like, I had a lot of trouble dealing with these guys back when I was... Oh, crap. Yeah, I still have a lot of trouble. But I had a lot of trouble with these guys back when I was playing as 2B. But when I'm playing as 9S, these guys are pathetic. Pretty much. Did he actually kill himself? But yeah, you can just hack to win. And yeah, you think that's a good idea to actually try and get down there and, I don't know, try and escape, I guess. But yeah, we're just gonna hack him. Yeah, hacking is the best way to deal with these guys. I didn't know that originally, because, well, I didn't have hacking. But, whoops. But now that I have hacking, it's a lot easier. I mean, you could argue that it turns it into a mini shoot 'em up, but it deals so much damage that it's ridiculous.
Even if I achieved my revenge, I was planning to die regardless. My friends are dead. My family is dead. You killed them.
Good for you.
And left me alone. I don't have the strength to continue.
Yeah, can I actually kill you?
I'm sorry. Everyone, I couldn't avenge you. Accursed androids. I want to know why you torment us. You damn monsters. Glory to us. Glory to my family.
Yeah, can I kill you? You technically attack us, so...
Machines wanting to avenge their families? That's absurd.
Data shows that humans often engaged in similar activity.
The bedrock
Right.
here was bombed out in the last war. Looks like the whole city is starting to sink as a result.
So yeah, basically, this is the what do we call it? City, what is it? The flooded city. Yeah, it's very short. There's really not much to say about it. It's probably the shortest portion of the game, if you ask me. I'm not sure if I didn't show something else in the game. Right, I'm not sure, but I think I did. But yeah, there are a few things that I have been working on off screen, and most of that is I've been working on trying to I've been working on like trying to upgrade my weapon, and I've upgraded my weapon to maximum now. So yeah, and I'm gonna keep this weapon because I like it. It's got a nice ranged attack to it, so it's quite nice. Right, so we're gonna kill this worm thing, which was another enemy that was a pain in the ass to deal with if you were playing as 2B, but a lot easier when you're playing as 9S because you can just hack to win. And yeah, you get a lot of experience for killing these like worm things as well. and they drop some really good stuff as well. So you really want to kill them, especially if you want to fully upgrade your
Is
weapons,
that
because
what we need to protect?
they drop crushed nuts, and I
Let's
think
take him
that,
out already so I can be
like,
home in
level
time for
4
dinner and a bath.
Androids
enemies,
don't need
they
to
all
bathe.
require you
As
to
long as you
use
perform
crushed
regular
nuts.
cleaning and maintenance,
To-
bathing is unnecessary.
I think they do, at least.
Yeah, but come on,
Like
2B.
this weapon
It
does.
still feels good.
But regardless, yeah, you can still use the weapon and attack normally, I suppose. It's not as fun as playing as 2B because you don't really have as many options. Like, as I say, it's just like, you have your hacking minigames, like, to do everything for you, and it just feels a little bit too easy at times, really, because you can just hack and win. I still don't know what those machine calls are for, though. But, yeah, he can attack, with this weapon at least, it attacks long range, which is really handy for 9S, because he's very slow, and with this weapon as well, because of it, but who needs to be fast when you have a weapon like this, that hits enemies at range, and plus, well, I don't know, I'd rather just have
I think
this
that's the
weapon,
last of the machines.
personally, because of its range, like,
2B, 9S, come in.
Commander?
like 2B
Emergency
deals
orders
with the
incoming.
up
The
close and
carrier ship
personal
that was
sort of
sent to
things
resupply
that
has
are
come
set to
under
aggressive,
attack.
so
It's
yeah.
currently being engaged by a swarm of machines. I've asked all your troops in the city ruins for assistance, and I'll need you to provide backup as well. I'm sending flight units and coordinates now. Good luck. Out.
So basically now
You see?
we have to fight
Total
a
slave
boss.
driver.
If she
I'm
didn't
not sure
order
if I
others
actually
around,
showed
what
that
kind
in
of
the
leader would she
original
be?
stream, but I
If you say
definitely
so.
I definitely remember fighting a boss here. But this is where 2B and 9S are going to split. So, like, there's that guy who gives you his shit. So, yeah. But yeah, this section is kind of annoying. It's one of those, like, flight shooter sections, but the camera just goes all over the place, which is a pain in the ass. So, yeah. Yeah, it starts off pretty simple, straightforward. Got a few enemies to kill, and they all appear in a line, like the traditional shoot 'em up sort of thing. But when the boss will come, which will happen, whoops. Like, it's all about rhythm. That's what this is really. Substrider, how's it going? So you were playing some Star Ocean 2 a few minutes ago, because I was on Discord and I saw that you were playing it. But yeah, basically I'm carrying on from like a while back. Like I skipped most of this because it was the same thing that you saw that I did last time. So yeah, this is where they split. So I decided to continue it here. It's good night. It's like the morning over here. Like you must be from America or something, or Australia. Because it's like, well, it's not morning, it's kind of afternoon, but it's pretty early compared to you guys. I don't even, I think I've got one joke ending, and that's when I actually decided to go to explore with 9S, because I wanted to see if there was any items, and it turned out that it was an ending, which it's kind of disappointing actually. I was hoping there was going to be some loot, but turns out the game was making fun of me the whole time. Shit, this is bad. Yeah, I'm going to need to use some items here. I'm not brilliant at shoot 'em ups. Yeah, I'm on 9S's side now. I'm getting to the point where he actually leaves.
Attention, this is Carrier Blue Ridge 2. Requesting support from any
I
friendly
find the
units in
easiest thing
range.
to do is to just basically just
Come under heavy
batter
fire
them
from
with
the
the
enemy.
sword.
Our escort ship has taken damage and is unable to engage.
I think that's the
We're
easiest way to
currently
deal with
resisting
them,
with all remaining
because
support fighters,
it
but we can't hold
pushes
them
all
off
of
for
their
long.
attacks. But you need to have that rhythm,
I
especially in
repeat,
these
this is Carrier
sections where
Blue
it's like
Ridge 2.
top down
We need
sort
immediate
of like
backup from any available android
sections,
forces.
but it is kind of annoying because like the camera in this section is a pain in the ass. It really is. Like, you can barely see, like, what's going on half the time because it's constantly moving. Like, 2B is definitely more fun to play than 9S, I'm not going to deny that. Like, 9S is a bit, like, it's a bit too easy to play because you just hack. Although in this section you can't hack, I suppose, but like 2B has more variety in the combos and stuff, which is a lot better. I can't wait to play as 2A
picking up a
though.
large-scale
2A
enemy
looks pretty
inbound.
interesting.
Looks to be 2.8 clicks southwest of us.
Oh yeah, oh you were talking about 2B's butt. Oh I see. Oh god, this thing is a nightmare. Actually no, this isn't actually the biggest problem. The biggest problem is afterwards. Like, I'm really not good at shooting ups if you haven't already guessed. Like, one of those genres that I've just never been any good at. Like, I just don't have
Enemy
the
aerial unit
concentration required for
destroyed.
doing them.
Reverting back to area recon.
Wait, I'm still picking
Like,
up a large
this is
enemy
the thing about the
presence.
camera, like,
Didn't I
it's,
kill that
I
already?
can barely see what's going on here.
If it's that big, we should be able to see it.
Well,
What is
that's
that?
new.
Oh yeah, I know what this is, but it's like... Still, what the fuck is it? I don't think they ever explain what it is.
Is that a machine?
Oh great, the camera's gone again.
It's freaking huge.
Like,
Crap. It's
this
blocking
is the
close
thing about
range
the
attacks
camera,
with
like,
the MP
it's
blast.
just all over the
We've
place.
gotta find another way to damage it.
Well, I'm gonna get fucked here. I can't
Operator
even...
210 to
Oh,
9S.
yeah, I can actually.
Command has decided to stage a direct satellite laser strike on the
It's
hostile.
all about, like,
We need
rhythm
you to
and that,
destroy
like,
the
you have to
enemy
be
EMP
prepared
generator so we
to,
can
like,
lock onto the
hit
target.
them at the right time.
EMP generator?
Sending
kind
the
of how it
coordinates
is,
to your map
really.
now.
And it's best to do it this way, because if you don't do it this way, then
generator target confirmed.
you're just gonna get
Marking on map.
overwhelmed.
Proposal. Destroy the generator
It kind
quickly.
of does look like a Colossus. This entire section kind of reminds me of that section in Zone of the End of the Second Runner where you have to deal with that battleship, like, and you have to, like, blow it up at the back with that ridiculously powerful attack. With the exception that in this, at this point, like, in this game you're actually doing it side-scrolling or top-down, and it constantly changes the camera angle, which is a pain in the ass.
Enemy data obtained from command.
Go ahead.
The only known record of this machine life
Yeah,
form
I'm
is a lone sighting
Probably going to,
320
like,
years ago.
start shooting
Upon
these guys.
reaching land, the unit
because,
unleashed a devastating electromagnetic
well,
wave
it's
attack.
easier to kill them from a
All
distance than
resistance
it's
fighters
close.
in the vicinity were annihilated.
So basically, if this thing reaches land, we're screwed.
Affirmative.
It kind of looks like a submarine, a bit. Well, it is coming out of the water, so that doesn't surprise me, but it kind of looks like a massive submarine cannon launcher thing. Yeah, this entire fight is just chaos, really, it is. But I think one of the biggest problems I have with this fight is simply because I'm just not very good at shoot 'em ups. Like, I'm terrible at them. Oh, so I can't hack. That's great, is that? Yeah, I'm really not good at shoot 'em ups. Like, the shoot 'em up sections that I was doing in Odin Sphere was a pain in the ass. But it's all about quick reactions, that's what it's all about, really. It's like, it's quite funny because I haven't really had to use many healing items in 9S's playthrough at all, but I am using like a ton of them at this point because it's a shoot 'em up and I'm terrible at them. I should name it something like, I don't know. Well, probably Colossus would make sense. But, I don't know, it's kind of like a giant sea slug.
Confirmed
metal.
elimination of electromagnetic interference. Stand by for incoming satellite laser strike.
I don't think it's long enough to be a Leviathan. Like, it needs to be a bit longer for it to be like that, but it's kind of like this big
Oh,
fat
come on!
slug
It's got an
in the middle of the
electromagnetic
sea or
barrier
something.
over its whole body?
That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Having trouble over
Yeah,
there?
probably.
Are you Yorha?
Hunter Squadron deploying out of North 12C Defense HQ.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
the
so
commanding officer,
basically
4B.
this
Don't
thing
worry,
is just
we'll
going
take it from
to
here.
stand here and do nothing while we're fighting for our
2B,
lives.
let's leave this area to the reinforcements. I have an idea. You and I should meet up at the spot I just marked.
Yeah, this boss wasn't really one of my favorite points in this game.
We've got mortars lining the shoreline here. All the EMP shielding in the world won't help against close-range mortar fire.
Got it.
I'll help aim.
But this bit wasn't that bad. Oh, hang on a minute, you hack it. I see. Yeah. Oh, I see. So basically,
This thing's armor is too thick.
9S
We
does
need
the
more
hacking,
firepower.
and
2B, let's
2B
try
does
for a
the
more
shooting.
direct approach.
Direct? Oh, right.
That's right. Lay down some fire in its stupid mouth.
Well, maybe there might be a copyright infringement coming up. Like, Platinum Games might be getting sued, or Square Enix, or whatever the fuck. Whoever owns the IP will be getting sued for including a Colossus. But it won't be the first time. Like, this boss just does not know when to quit, does it? Oh yeah, of course it would have an EMP. Why wouldn't
We
it
gotta
have an
bail,
EMP?
2B. This is bad.
Well, it is, like... But I always find it amusing when people, like, sue these big companies. Where the fuck did they come from?
That enormous machine is an ancient weapon. It was designed to help annihilate the
Yeah, that's not
androids,
really helpful
but
to
it
tell us
wound up
that.
going out of control.
If you're gonna tell us something, tell us
I was
exactly
part
what
of
it
the
can do,
machine's network when
and
it
how to
happened,
kill it.
so I remember it. The moment it reached land, it went berserk and began attacking everything in sight. No one could figure out how to stop it. We eventually marooned it deep in the ocean, but it
Yeah,
seems to be
I
searching
really
for a
suck
way back.
at dealing with
Huh.
projectiles.
Hey, 2B, I think I have another idea. You keep that thing right where it is, okay?
What?
Please, 2B, this is gonna work. I'm going to see if we can use those missiles back on the shore.
Nintendo
But I need you to
always
destroy
suing
the EMP
people.
unit on that thing's back.
Either
Otherwise,
that or
they're just
getting
going to go
sued.
off course.
On it.
One thing or another, really. It's like they're really good in the courtroom, Nintendo. Like, they think that they own the law. Like, they think that the law is basically written by Nintendo, pretty much. It's like copyright law. We wrote it, and everybody who says otherwise, screw them. Like, we're Nintendo. We are the law. This is a nightmare. It's just, I have to run through it just so I can get around it. At least I have unlimited, well, not unlimited, but I have a ton of healing items, which kind of makes this a little bit easier. Hold on, is there a... oh, that was a mistake. Ah, yes there is. I'm kind of getting my controls messed up here. Yeah, I don't understand how any of you people can play these types of games, like, shoot 'em ups. Like, I just cannot grasp them at all. Like, I just really suck at these types of games. Like, I just really do. Because it's just like, let's just throw everything at you. That's kind of what they are. It's one of those games, like, it's one of those game genres that kind of has the glass cannon effect. And pretty much all those types of games, I'm shit at, like, pretty much. Even, like, action games, I mean, as much as I like action games, I'm terrible at them because, like, I just am. Like, when it comes to these glass cannon games, as satisfying as they can be, I'm shit at them. But I'd say I'm even more shit at these type of games, just simply because, like, you have to, like, dodge through gaps, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, at least your sword can cut these things down, I suppose, but you kind of need a good rhythm to do it. Like, I don't know, like, some shoot-em-ups can be just ridiculous. And I haven't even played them, like, these ridiculous ones, but just watching people play them, it's freaking crazy. Like, the only shoot-em-ups I've played that I can remember off the top of my head are games like Finalizer. Like, that's the only one that I can remember. And I played it on, like, like, when the Xbox 360 had the, like, arcade thing, I played it on that, and, like, it was pretty good in a way. It wasn't too over the top, but it was still ridiculously hard. But I did kind of enjoy it. It was probably one of the better games that I played on that, like, on the arcade thing. But when I, like,
Activate missile controls.
when
Prepare to
if I were
launch.
to play,
Missile
like, other
controls engaged.
shoot-em-ups, it would just
Launch
drive me
ability
insane.
confirmed.
Fire!
There's nothing worse than a game, to me, where you, like, have one life, and if you get hit once, you die. Those are some of the most annoying types of games to me, like...
I didn't think this would be so hard to control.
Alert. Obstacle ahead.
Oh.
A collision at this
So we
speed is
have
not
to-
recommended.
Well aware, thank you.
Is this a missile? What are we actually trying to do here? Like, I suck at most games, to be honest, really. But shoot 'em ups especially.
Signal lost.
I mean, they can be satisfying in a way,
Organize a search and
I
rescue
just think
party
that
for the
sometimes
missing
you just get a
Yorha
bit too
members at
overbearing.
once.
To be. 9S. Don't die on me.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't really like much. Like,
The
one
child
deaths
held
are just a
sway
bit
over
too
enormous
much.
strength. But sadly, he was also a little bit broken. He spent his long days hurting those around him. He tried his best to be good and kind. But despite his efforts, things never seemed to turn out. They told him he was unwanted. They abandoned him in the deep, dark ocean.
And I'm
from
not
the
brilliant
cold
at
the
fighting
bottom
games
of the
either.
sea, he cried out, "Mother,
Like, I was playing King of Fighters
Mother.
2000, and I was just getting my ass kicked.
Mother." But his voice
And that was by the computer
never
on
reached
beginner
his
difficulty.
mother.
And I was playing arcade mode as well. Like, it's just, like, it's just not my sort of thing, really.
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod 042, assigned to 2B.
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod 153,
I think this
assigned
is
to
where they
9S.
kind of change over.
We pods often participate in the same battles. Exchanging our situational data would theoretically allow us to plan combat strategies in a more efficient manner. Proposal: data should be transferred regularly between Pod 042 and Pod 153.
Analysis. This idea is sound. Proposal accepted. Records will be organized in time for the next situational exchange.
Right, that was good to know. Alright, so basically we have to go do this hacking game, I guess. Like, can we just get on with the labyrinth? Or do we have to read text? Right, I'm just gonna skip through this. There's a lot of this in the game where it just kind of has the Valkyrie profile effect where they just, like when Valkyrie profile has all this like black screen and all this text that doesn't really seem to make much sense. Like, it kind of does that a lot, does this game. And then by the end of the game you probably kind of get it, but at the moment I don't really get it. But yeah, I guess we have to go through this and hack each individual platform. Like, this game likes to throw a lot of stuff at you which just come out of nowhere. Right, I'll be the first to admit that when it comes to gaming, like, story isn't really a big factor for me. Like, it's just not really something that I spend a lot of time caring about. I mean, I like a good premise and all, and I do like a good setting, and story is always nice to have, but it's never really the be-all and end-all for me. Like, when it comes to story in games, like, for the most part, I just like to consider it a background thing, like a backdrop to the actual action. Yeah, like, I found it weird how it used these, like, black screen things in Valve Profile. Like, it's like, you don't really get what's going on and why you're seeing all this black screen stuff. It's just like, it's as if the game's trying to, like, have this weird effect just by, like, taking you out of the moment by just saying some stuff that I think that's what they're trying to do, like, just have this really weird effect by taking you out of the game to, like, have text and that lot. But if it was trying to mean something, it was just really vague. But, I mean, the thing about this game, I kind of get the gist as to what the story is, without having to read into anything. I can kind of tell where this is going. Like, this is kind of going to be going towards, like, a questioning, like, why we're fighting against these robots and what the value of humanity is and why and all that lot. I kind of get where the story's going, but as I say, like, it's very easy to read into the premise of this game, like, and pretty much any game really, and that's usually what I focus on, like, what's actually going on in the game and what's the premise. It's like, for example, one of the reasons why I like Shadow Hearts a lot is because it has an interesting premise. Like, the story is pretty good as well, but, like, it's like people, like, a lot of people value, like, good narrative and stuff in games, but to me, all I need is a good premise. Like, something interesting to play, and this game has a relatively interesting premise, I'll definitely say that. But when it comes to actually reading the dialogue and all that lot, like, it depends on the game. Like, if it's Grandia 2 or something like that, where the dialogue is funny, then I can kind of get into it, but otherwise, I'm just not going to. Like, I mean, let's put it this way, I have a very dry sense of humour, and very few games, like, offer that. But Grandia 2 was one of those games that really did offer a, like, dry sense of humour, so that's one of the reasons why I really like the dialogue in that game. Just simply because, like, well, the main character, Ryudo, he's basically, like, it's kind of like a shadow of myself in a way, because he's just so, like, he's just so snarky all the time, and he's just got this really dry sense of humour, which I just love to see, and I really wish more games would do that. But, like, as for, like, serious stuff in games, like, I tend to just flick through it, you know what I mean? Because it's just, I kind of get the gist as to what's going on, and I kind of get the gist that it's really trying to be deep in that lot, but, like, I just really don't care to consume that sort of thing. It's like, I'm sure that people get a lot out of this sort of, like, narrative, like, approach that this game's going for. I mean, it's like Valve Profile 1 did the same thing, and I think that's why a lot of people like that game a lot, because of how it presented its narrative and like, unusual way, and how it really messes with your head. But I don't know, it just, I think a lot of games have, like, started to do that now, where it's just like they're trying so hard to, like, stand out with their narrative deliveries, that I just think I've seen it as novelty, and now the novelty's kind of, like, wore off, and, like, I suppose if people want, like, a story-driven game, they're going to come to expect this sort of thing, and yeah, that's basically just, like, this game especially tries to be weird and odd, but because I play games like Batten Kaitos, for example. What? You're thinking about how much you want to fuck 2B, aren't you? Really? Okay, that actually was kind of interesting, how it actually, all that dialogue just came to that. Yeah, it's like, you get all those scenes for, like, for ages, and it's just like, I don't know, like, for me, I'm all for, like, cutscenes and stuff. Oh, shit. I don't know if I'm doing things wrong here, but it might be another mindfuck. Yep, it's another mindfuck. But yeah, that's the thing, it's like, I think, personally, like, having a little bit of, like, those little sections with, like, blank screens and text, it's alright in small doses, but when it's, like, continuous, it kind of gets a bit tedious.
Another treasured its older sibling. Another treasured its own beauty. But one more machine treasured something unique above all else. Hate.
I kind of think I know what that machine is.
Is this...
Why is he wearing glasses? That's one thing I never understood, like, do robots even need to wear glasses? But why am I even questioning it at this point? Like, this game's kind of weird because it kind of tries to make machines like humans, and you kind of just, like, they might as well have just, like, not made them machines, because they're not really like machines at all. But in a way, it's good that they aren't, because that means that they can have a personality and stuff. But I don't really think the focus of this game, at least from what I've seen, I don't really think the focus of this game is on the characters. Like, maybe it is, and I don't know enough yet, but I really haven't seen much focus on the characters at all. I think what they're trying to do is to, like, have an interesting philosophical plot, and I think that's what they're going for. But the thing that I find interesting about it is mostly the quirkiness of the whole machines and how they act. And, like, the whole seriousness stuff just goes over my head. Like, it just flies through one ear and out of the other. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to, like, understand narrative presented this way.
Fine.
But regardless, it's just one of those things where you can't really question it. I mean, other games have done the same before. It's like, well, Grandia 2 did it with Tio, I suppose. Like, having androids that are basically, you can't take them seriously as being androids because they have a personality, which kind of like, I don't know, it kind of takes you out of the mood, because it kind of like, you have to have that willing suspension of disbelief. You know what I mean? And it kind of just gets a bit odd. Like, it's really difficult to imagine machines just somehow, like, having personalities and stuff. It just kind of is, like, but really, what it comes across to me is that you're kind of playing as humans, but humans that have kind of like turned themselves into machines. That's kind of what this kind of feels like. And to be honest, it would probably make more sense if they actually made things out to be like that, so that you're actually controlling humans, but humans that have turned themselves into androids. That would kind of make more sense.
What was that?
Unknown.
Halt the data sync.
And maybe, like, the machines could actually be like humans that have turned into machines.
Halt the data sync for 2B as well.
It's possible.
Let's figure out where that noise
Like,
came
maybe
from.
that's where the plot goes, but
sure,
if
you
it
know?
doesn't, then
Open a
they've
port
kind
to
of
the
missed an
server.
opportunity there, if you ask me, because there's a lot of evidence that leads to that, in a way. And then it kind of would go into, like, this whole questioning if it's really, like, important to carry on.
No time to examine everything.
And maybe that's
Better
what they're
stick to the
going
main
for,
data
but
nodes.
at the moment I'm just not really convinced, because, like, they haven't really gone there yet. Yeah, lots of hacking to do.
Detected.
Yeah, like,
Access locked to Council of
Yoko
Humanities
Taro is
within
one of those,
server.
he's one of those people who likes to break the mold, pretty much. Shipping records. Don't know what that's all about.
What's
But yeah, he's one of those
doing
developers
here?
that just likes to break the mold
Looks like records for
and do
supplies
things
shipped
that
to the
other
moon.
people aren't doing
Strange.
because he
There are a
can.
ton of empty containers. That's weird. Why would they do that?
Like, he's trying to do trying to do something that is like nobody else is doing, and it's kind of like trying to be like trying to make the game as weird as possible.
Detected.
I mean,
Your HUD
I can
units
kind of
store
admire
trackers.
what he's doing in a way, because he is trying to like break the mold and like
What's
get
the
rid
point
of all
this heavy
these like
security?
regular
All the black
conventions
box
of
data has
games
been
and try
deleted,
to
but it
like
looks like everything else
do
is
something
here.
different, which is always admirable to see that happen.
Huh? A new port just opened.
But with every time you see things like that happen, there's always going to be like, it's always going to be hit or miss. Like, sometimes it's going to be a hit because
Council of Humanity and Project Yorha Records
because
Index.
like
Alert.
it's
We are
weird
not
and
authorized to
cool, but
access this
other
data.
times
Man,
it's
this stuff is
not
all
gonna
wrong.
make much
I need to
sense.
check this out too.
And I think really the important thing to realize when you're trying to do things that are weird and crazy is that everything needs to have a purpose at the end of the day. And whether or not Yoko Taro thinks with that mindset, I have no idea, but it's still important to think with that mindset, I'd say, especially when it comes to gaming, because like video games, because like at the end of the day, people consume video games for like one big reason. Like they consume video games because they want to achieve goals. They want to be rewarded. And that's really what you have to focus on. And I find that a lot of developers really don't focus on that. They don't look at what's important. And really, in some ways, this game does show a lot of that, like trying to be something that it's kind of not. But because it's a game, like he can get away with it because, like, we've had movies like The Matrix, for example, which try to be like crazy, like weird and stuff. They're trying something completely different, but like there's just too much competition in the movie industry and the book industry. So let's do this in the gaming industry. But then they bring all these cool ideas to gaming that haven't been done in the movie industry, in the book industry.
Did they find me?
But is video games the best platform for it, or would it be better for it to be like a movie? Like that's the question that needs to be asked at the end of the day. Like if you're going to try something like different, really you want to be questioning which, like, should it be a game or should it be a movie or should it be a book? What would be the best thing for it? Because you can do things in books and movies that you just can't do in games. Like in books especially, like you can express certain things, or you can talk, like you can, like the story can be more detailed because you can put more detail into writing the characters and stuff. But when you're playing a game like, oh, I don't even know where I'm going at the moment. Like when you're playing a game, it's kind of more limiting in terms of narrative. Like I actually read into that, like when I was reading like game design theory. Like, I was actually reading into that where the person who, one of the first things that I read in the book was that like video games and storytelling kind of contradict each other. And it kind of does, because storytelling is a very linear, like, sort of thing. Stories are, like, linear by nature. Like, there's always going to be those games like The Walking Dead, which market themselves on being non-linear, but at the end of the day, they're still going to be linear. Just slightly different each time. Like, it's still a linear story, and video games are not linear. Like, they are completely unlinear by nature, even though they have linear elements in terms of like exploration and stuff. Like they're still built on non-linearity. Like you still can like run around in circles freely. Like you have that freedom to just run around in circles. You have that freedom to do these things in a game and just stand here and run around in circles for the entire game. You can do that. That's called non-linearity. Whereas in like a movie you can't. Like in a movie you have to like continue at the movie's pace. You don't really get much choice in the matter. Really don't know what I actually need to do here. I think I need to go up here or something. Yeah, that might be what I need to do. I mean, there are games that are built on story, and that I find that the best part of them is the story, like Warcraft 3. But honestly, like the Warcraft series, the most enjoyment I've had out of it, besides like the story of Warcraft 3 and all that lot, is the books. Like the books have really made that universe a lot better than the games ever could. And I do think there is a place for storytelling in video games. I mean, it is a rewarding element, so that's something to really consider. But, like, when it comes to storytelling in games, like, if you're gonna focus on it, then you should be prepared to actually, like, do the full Monty. Like, you want to be, like... I've said it before and I'll say it again, we need to see more different adaptations of video game storytelling. We need to see more books based on video games. As really that's the ultimate test. If you can make your video game... Like, if you can make the story of your video game into a book, then you've succeeded. You've already won. That's how you make a good story. But if you're going to make just a game and not a novel, then you really shouldn't focus on the story at all. Like, you really shouldn't.
Okay, good. 2B's black box signal is still up and running. These comms are all messed up. Guess I'll have to break into the other side and take control.
Right, so... we have to do more hacking, I guess. Like... there's going to be book adaptations that just won't work in video games. Yeah, there will be. Like, the thing is about books is there's different kinds of books. Like, some books are going to be focused on, like, descriptive information and stuff.
Nice.
Like,
now I just have to unlock the door where 2B is.
Like, for example, The Last Guardian in like, which is based on, like, Warcraft 1, kind of. Like, that's mainly focused on descriptive, like, writing, not actually, like, character interaction, because it's basically just Khadgar, like, going around Karazhan and exploring the place, and of course that's going to focus on descriptive writing. So, when you have... it's basically just one good example as to why, like, we need to see more book adaptations to video games, because it enhances the video games. You can't really focus on that sort of thing in video games, because not only does it ruin the pacing, but at the same time it's like, it just doesn't really have a place in video games. And yet you see games like this where not sure where I'm supposed to go here. I know that's going to hurt if I stand on that, so I don't really want to. Whoops, did I just kill myself? I could barely see. But, like, that's kind of the thing about it. Like, if you want your story to be taken seriously, and you want to focus on storytelling, then just write a book about it. Because that's the ultimate test. If you do write a book about it, and it is successful, then make a game out of it. Like, it worked for the Witcher games. Like, Witcher games may be a lot of shit, but that kind of speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? Like, it's based on a novel, so yeah, like, people are gonna play it for the novel, not for the game, in a way. Like, a lot of people have argued that the reason why they enjoy Witcher 3 is the story. That's probably why I'm not enjoying it right now. Because, really, like, if I read the books, like the Witcher books, I probably would enjoy it. But I haven't read the books. And honestly, I would probably say the people that I would recommend the Witcher series, like the Witcher games to, are people who have read the books. That's what I would recommend it to, because the games themselves, like, I don't know, they just seem to be severely lacking to me. Like, in the gameplay department, and they have a lot of issues, which like, oh, what's this? Ah, yeah, I can actually hit him with this machine, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, I'm going to die if we carry on like this. Whoops. I can only dodge backwards. This is bringing back flashbacks of Odin Sphere's shoot-'em-up sections where you can only dodge backwards. Yeah, it does surprise me that Metal Gear, like the Metal Gear series, has novels. That doesn't surprise me at all, because those games are pretty much focused on... Oh shit. Whoops. That went well.
We shall become
Damn it. Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
Yeah, like, movie license games never do well, let's be honest. But there are games like the Lord of the Rings games, I suppose. But Lord of the Rings is based off of a book, so that's kind of like... What about the Star Wars games? Like, those are alright. Like, aside from Star Wars Battlefront, like, not the original ones, but like the ones like EA's recently made. Now that's just laziness, that's all that is. But like, I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, for example, like you have like James Bond games, they're not bad either. Like a lot of people remember GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, even though that's not the one that I remember. I actually remember Nightfire of all things. That's the game that I remember playing. That was actually my first-person shooter, believe it or not. Even though I never owned it, I actually borrowed it off a friend, and I played it, and it was alright. I had fun playing it. But yeah, that's the thing, you see. Like, I mean, look at Chaos Legion, for example. That game, believe it or not, was a novel originally. Like, that's hard to believe, considering how laughable the game's story is. Like, it's like the biggest irony of all time. Like, you're playing a game which is so freaking awesome, but like the story is just like edgy crap, like just edgy bullshit. And I like edginess in games, but like, and I like the story in Chaos Legion because it's funny, because it tries way too hard to be edgy. But I would never read the book of it because, like, I just couldn't take it seriously. You know what I mean? As much as I like edginess because, well, I find it funny, like when things try so hard to be edgy, like, how can you not find that funny? Like Chaos Legion especially is the biggest example of a game that is just hilarious because of how so serious and edgy it is. Like, yeah, like, I think the Nintendo 64 wasn't built for games like GoldenEye at all. Like, it wasn't. Like, the Nintendo 64 was built for, well, the controller was pretty shit to begin with, but like, I think the best type of games that were on the Nintendo 64 were probably, I don't know, the platformers maybe? Like, I wasn't really too keen on the racing games either, because the racing games, like, I didn't really like using the controller. It's like, when I play F-Zero X, I play it on the Virtual Console, not on the Nintendo 64, because I just don't want to use that controller. Like, I don't think Nintendo consoles have ever been great when it comes to shooters. Like, it's like games like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think now of a first-person shooter that they do. I know that Metroid is kind of the closest to a first-person shooter that Nintendo have made, but like Metroid Prime, not Metroid, that's kind of more of an adventure type of game. But like, other than that, like, what other first-person shooter have Nintendo made? That's kind of the one, if that counts. A lot of people argue that it's not a first-person shooter. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's in first person and you're shooting it, so that's a first-person shooter to me. You know what I mean? Like, when I look at genres, I just look at them with logic, and it's part of the reason why I'm starting to question the purpose of, like, the RPG genre as a whole, because it just feels illogical to have, like, a genre about role-playing when literally every single game involves playing a role these days. Well, not every single game. Like, you don't play a role in Candy Crush, but a lot of games you do. Like, in this, you're playing the role at the moment of a machine, and in Halo, you're playing the role of Master Chief. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's just like, it's weird. But God, this is a nightmare. Trying to get... Oh, crap. And I have to go all the way back to the start.
I better get to 2B fast.
I don't think you'll be getting to 2B very quickly, buddy, because I'm controlling you. and that's not going to make things easy for you. This is giving me flashbacks of that one level in Kirby 64. The machine level. With all those crushers. This section is a garbage compactor. Oh shit. And a me compactor apparently.
Damn it. Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying how you only dodge backwards. Like, I hate it when games only allow you to dodge backwards. Like, just let's dodge forwards for heaven's sake. Like, give us that freedom to dodge in the direction we want to dodge in. Like, you have to move when it's just crushed something, because when the conveyor's moving, you just cannot move. You have to just stand in one position, right next to it, and then you have to run, and then you have to jump. That's basically what you have to do here, and it's a pain in the ass. So now I have to run, but not too close to it. And now I have to jump. Yeah, that's basically the gist of it. It's like a nightmare. It's like, there's a lot of first-person shooters on the Nintendo 64, and I really don't want to play any of them on that console. Like, if I want to play a first-person shooter, I'd rather play it on PC, to be honest. Like, that's probably the system that I would play a first-person shooter on. Unless, like, as I say, third-person shooters, yeah, that's better on console. But first-person shooters, I'd rather play on PC, because you just have more control and, like, with mouse control, you just get more ability to actually, like, move around the crosshair, which I kind of like better. It's a lot easier to manage sensitivity on a mouse than it is on a controller.
Look at all these broken machines.
Like, the thing about Perfect Dark is I've heard there's a Perfect Dark game that is absolutely shite. Which game is that? Because apparently someone said that there is a shite one, and I don't really know which one that is. Is it Perfect Dark Zero or something? Well, this'll be fun. Right, so I have to dodge all these bullets now. Great. Oh shit, this is going well for me already, isn't it? And the worst part about it is, if I get hit too many times, I have to redo the whole thing, right from the beginning. Yep, let's start again. Oh, thank God, we actually start back here. Thank God the game didn't make me do that again, otherwise I would have been pissed. Ah, that's the game, Perfect Dark Zero, I see. That's cleared up a lot. Thanks for that. But it's like, I have like Time Splitters 2 on the GameCube, for example, and the controls for that are just freaking horrendous.
Damn it. Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
Like, I'm sure the PlayStation version is a lot better, but like, the GameCube version is just ridiculous. I mean, it's playable in a way because, like, you can use the analogs, like, in the C-stick, but it just feels so awkward to use the C-stick. Yeah, I'm dead again. Yeah. It's gonna take a while.
Oh, I better get to 2B fast.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure that it's one of those few exceptions that the PlayStation 2 version can probably be better than the GameCube version, but it's only because it's a freaking shooter. Like, one thing that kind of annoys me is that Star Fox Soul gets a lot of hate for like the out of Arwing sections, but really the reason why those sections are not good is simply because the GameCube controller was not built for shooters, be they first or third person. I think third person are probably the worst though for the GameCube. Like, I just don't really think they do well with those types of games at all. Like, because the controller, like the trigger buttons, are like they aren't like you have to actually put them right down to actually have them do anything, which is really effective in games like F-Zero GX when you're actually using the L and R buttons because you really feel that need to like make an impact. Like that's one thing that I would definitely say the GameCube's really good at. Like it's really good at playing racing games. That's probably that's one of the main draws of the GameCube. It's one of the best consoles for racing games, if you ask me. Like the A button is big, so and you're mainly holding that down a lot, so that kind of makes a lot of sense. But when you're playing on like the PlayStation, like the X button's really small, not a lot. But I just think that the buttons are in the right place for a racing game. It's like I couldn't imagine playing F-Zero GX on a PlayStation. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, Star Fox Assault gets a lot of hate. A lot of people really detest that game because of the on-foot sections. Like, the R-Wing sections are easily some of the best sections. Like, the R-Wing sections are better than Star Fox 64 in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you don't get the first-person view, but the first-person view in Star Fox... I'm just going to start anyway. The first-person view in Star Fox 64 wasn't really good anyways. Unlike the original Star Fox, or Starwing as we call it. Like, that was a really good first-person view in Starwing, and it was actually usable, but the thing about Star Fox 64 is that the first-person view, they kind of got rid of the crosshair, which was really annoying. But that's one of the things that kind of annoyed me about Star Fox 64. Like, why? Oh, God, like, this is insane, is this? This is going to take all day just to get through this one section. Yeah.
Damn it. Maybe I should
Like, I think racing games use the R2 button because, like, they see it looks like an accelerator. Like, it looks like a, like, looks like an, you know, when you push the accelerator with your foot, like, it's kind of got that sort of like trigger, like. God, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't tell whether he's firing 2 or 1 at a time. It's kind of got that like trigger look to it, but you're putting your foot down on it. But really, I just preferred it when you used A. Like, it just makes more sense. Like the thing about that annoys me about racing games today is that if you want to like use the if you want to use the brakes, like you have to use a completely different hands to do it. Like that kind of separates your reflexes and means you have to concentrate on 2 different hands just to do like specific jobs. Right, I'm waiting on him to. There we go. You really have to take your time with this bit. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? And now I'm gonna be like, this section is just trolling, really. That's what it is.
Damn it. Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
But yeah, I wasn't really too keen on the whole change to like the R2 button at all because it requires you to use 2 different hands for reflexes, which is fine in F-Zero GX because that game's built around that. But to actually move and brake, no, that's just not good to me. And F-Zero GX did it in a way that really made it work because it works with the game, and you can hold both of them at the same time as well, and plus it still had a brake, you just never used it. Because the game focuses so much on the other buttons. Yeah, whoever designed this section, you are a cunt. That is all I'm going to say. Because it's just annoying. Right. Thank God for that. Yeah, I just want to get to the next part. Can I just do that?
We shall become gods.
Yeah, I'm just gonna... Oh, thanks for that. Now I have to go through that entire section again.
Oh, I better get to 2B fast.
But I miss the old style of racing games where you've actually pressed A. Oh, God I might as well just kill myself right now because I messed up on the first one. That's the thing that annoys me about when you can't heal in games and when you take all this damage. Like, you just want to restart because you just get hit, like, straight away.
Damn it. Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
Like, because you know that you have to, like, withstand the rest of it, and you know that you're going to get fucked in the rest of it because you make too many mistakes. It's just one of those sections where you just have to wait about, and it just takes forever. Like, how am I supposed to know that he was going to change directions and shoot? This section is freaking cancer. But yeah, that's one of the things that kind of annoys me about a lot of modern racing games today. Like, the fact that they use that control layout. But, as for Star Fox Assault, like, a lot of people hated the on-foot section. Which kind of saddens me because that game was pretty damn good. Like, it was as good as you were going to get in terms of, like, a true successor to Star Fox 64. Especially after, like, games like Star Fox Zero. Like, people, like, I find that people are just so willing to complain about things and not give things a chance. Just simply because of nostalgia. Like, it's not like Star Fox 64, so we should just complain about it. Which is kind of annoying. Like, I don't think that's pleasing some people. Like, if you don't like Star Fox Assault, I just don't think you're ever going to like any other Star Fox game that isn't Star Fox 64. That's just the way I see it. Because, like, the game was built, like, to be as good as it could be. Like, I understand why, like, why people think that way, like Star Fox 64 is so better, because Star Fox 64 was a quirky game. It was. I can't even turn around fast in this. Like, this is just dreadful. This is just absolutely dreadful as a section. Because in Star Fox 64 you had, like, the memorable quotes and stuff, whereas in Star Fox 64 they can't, like, in Star Fox Assault, you can't really replicate that as well. Like, you just can't. Like, because it's been and done, you know what I mean? Instead it decided to do its own thing, which was to actually try and be, like, a pretty epic game. Like, the soundtrack was just phenomenal, like, it really was. But people hated on it because it just wasn't the original, like, it didn't have all the original gags and all that lot. That's kind of what I get from it. Because, like, if it... Yeah, just kill me already, because I'm dead. Like, that's another thing, just to rub salt into the wound, they stun you when you get hit.
Damn it. Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
Which is a pain in the ass. So basically, I just have to basically wait for it to move. Like, I can jump faster than I can actually walk, which is a nightmare. Like, how can I jump so high yet walk so slowly? But yeah, Assault was really good. I really liked a lot about Assault. I really did. It's like my favourite Star Fox game is the original though, definitely, because... Really? Come on. Like, it holds you back for like hours. Because you just get hit by one bullet, and that pushes you along the conveyor. This is like whoever designed the checkpoints in this.
I better get to 2B fast.
Fuck that guy. Yep, I'm dead again. Because I'm being reckless now. This is what happens when you get into a frustrating section of the game. You just get reckless. You just don't care. You just want to get through it. You know what I mean? You just want to get through it. You don't... And this is just one of those sections that's just designed to be purely unfair to the player. just like the side-scrolling sections in Odin Sphere, Later Sphere, like, it's just designed to be unfair to the player, and nothing more. And it's just a pain in the ass. Come on. Like, again, I get hit twice, now I only have one more chance, and I'm dead. Now I have to redo it all over again.
Oh, I better get to 2B fast.
In case you're wondering, developers, I'm not really having fun doing this. Like, that's one thing I'll always respect Odin Sphere for. As frustrating as the original was, at least, like, if you died, you could just start the battle right from the beginning again. Like, I literally couldn't jump out of that because he just keeps firing now. Like, the AI isn't even firing in patterns. He basically just... Yeah, I'm just gonna kill myself again. He's not even firing in patterns now. He's basically just, like, shooting randomly so that I can't do anything. Pretty much.
Maybe I should have taken over something with a little more power.
But yeah, this is just going to take forever, is this? I can tell right now that this is going to take ages. They really should have had a checkpoint after this section. Like, I'm all for a challenge in a game. If it's something like Devil May Cry 3 style of a challenge where the boss is designed to be tough. But when it's just completely unfair and they strip you of everything, that's when I draw the line. I cannot bear it when games change the rules and then just simply to screw you. Games like that, fuck those games. Like, those games just piss me off. Like, look, the game's changed the rules specifically in its favour, so that I get screwed over. And I have, I have to learn how to play the game all over again. So, that feeling of, like, progression in terms of learning the game and mastering the game disappears because I have to get used to, like, new gameplay elements, like, in a pinch. That's one of the biggest problems with this game. Like, that is easily one of the biggest problems with this game, just simply because it has so many different sections, and you have to get used to every single one of them. And you spend so much time doing, like, the regular sections, where you're actually just, in this case, hacking, but doing the combat sections, regular, like, on-foot combat sections, that you don't really get a chance to actually practice the other sections, if you know what I mean. That's the game's biggest issue. And the same thing happens with Odin Sphere, but in Odin Sphere, they only do it, like, for one story, and I think it was a bit stupid, but at least they don't overdo it. In this game, they really do. Like, I mean, the same thing happened in Zone of the Enders. That's the thing, like, when I reviewed Zone of the Enders, my review of the game was very negative. I really couldn't get into the Zone of the Enders games at all. Like, that's one thing I'll definitely say. I couldn't get into them. And this game feels like Zone of the Enders, in a lot of ways. Like, the actual, like, interface looks like something you'd see in a Zone of the Enders game. Like, this whole, like, computerized interface that you'd see in a Kojima game in general. But, like, Zone of the Enders was another game which just really pissed me off because of, like, the scenarios they put you in. And the thing that pissed me off the most in that game was the fact that the final boss, or the boss before the final boss, which is kind of the same fight, but you know what I'm talking about, where they strip you of everything, and then you have to learn how to play without all of the cool stuff that you had, like all the cool weapons and stuff you can't use. Like, how many times are you going to shoot that, buddy? How many times are you just going to keep shooting so that I can't actually dodge? So I have to start again, and then I have to go along the conveyor belt again, and then you're just going to shoot, like another barrage of shots that I cannot dodge, because I'm so slow. Oh great, it's going to get worse than this. It's just like, I just wish games would stop trying to be something that they're not. That's part of the reason why I love Painkiller so much, because you don't see this shit in Painkiller. You don't see this shit in that game. It's the same shit from beginning to end. The only difference is it gets tougher, and you have to, like, master the game to be able to, like, get better at it, and when you do get better, it's satisfying. You know what I mean? Like, I like it when games are just stick to being what they are and don't try and be something that they're not. Like, because in Painkiller, all you're doing is the same thing. Shooting things. And over the course of the game, you're getting better at it. But the game challenges you by overwhelming you with more enemies and giving you different types of enemies to fight. And you're learning how to deal with those enemies. You know what I mean? But in this, you're not learning how to avoid it, because you've just gotten into it and you're thrown in the deep end, and now you have to deal with something that is ridiculously challenging. I mean, I do think that having a symmetrical, well, not symmetrical, but I do think that the whole concept of a difficulty curve, I'm not really in agreement with the whole like difficulty curve thing. Like, what I believe should happen in video games, I believe games need to have difficulty waves. Like, in the sense that it's like a wavy line of difficulty. Like, you have a hard section, then you have an easier section, then you have a hard section and an easier section, and it kind of balances it out. That's what I believe that games need to have. As I find that if you do it that way, then you're giving players a break, which can actually be a lot more beneficial than an actual like difficulty curve, because the difficulty curve constantly gets harder, and when a game constantly gets harder, it puts players at the risk of being disengaged, because they get too tired of they just lose momentum, and then eventually they get disengaged because now they have to start again. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that happens with the difficulty curve, and I've always argued against the whole difficulty curve philosophy. And my philosophy is to have a difficulty wave. In the sense that you have like a wavy sort of difficulty, which Painkiller has a difficulty wave, in the sense that it has its easy sections and its hard sections. It's like after you finish Opera House, you have to do Asylum, and Asylum's pretty easy compared to Opera House, but like at the same time it serves a purpose, and you're actually learning how to play in a more contained area. But they make the enemies easier because of that. So while the game does feel a little bit easier, it still adds it adds something new that you have to overcome, in a way. It's just a bit easier, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like breather levels, that's what I call them. Like levels where you can just basically just chill to and relax to. And in a game like Painkiller especially, it's very important, because the game is doing the same thing over and over again. And in a game like that, where you're doing the same thing over and over again, you need breather levels. Because one of the things in games like breather sections, like most games that use breather sections, they actually use rewarding elements as their like story and that lot as like their breather, which is kind of wrong, because that's a rewarding element, not a breather. Not really. I do think that gameplay needs to be broken up like a little bit, just so that you have bits of gameplay that are actually slightly easier, just so that the player can feel empowered for a bit before you actually throw them into the deep end and challenge them. Like, I believe that challenging sections in the games should have purpose and should make players like there needs to be a purpose when you are adding a challenging section. Like, make players feel like they should be challenged. Like, for example, in Devil May Cry 3, when you fight Virgil, like the fight against Virgil in Devil May Cry 3 is supposed to be way more challenging than anything you have ever faced in the game. That's what it's supposed to be. But before you fight Virgil, it's not too difficult, you know what I mean? But when you do fight Virgil, the difficulty just goes up there. But and a lot of people would complain about that sort of thing and say that it's a difficulty spike. But really, it's actually a good thing that it is a spike of difficulty, because you're fighting Virgil, who is a stronger foe story-wise, so of course he's going to be tougher than anything you've faced before. So of course it should be a difficulty spike. Like, And in that case, the difficulty spike is good. Because when, like, when you're fighting someone like Virgil, like, he's a big deal as a character. If you made Virgil, like, just as powerful as, like, another boss that you fight in the game, it would kind of be a bit underwhelming, you know what I mean? But they actually made him far tougher than anything you face in the game, and then after you beat Virgil, the next section is a lot easier. Like, it is. It's a bit of a breather section in a way. Like, the whole Leviathan thing. Like, the Leviathan level was kind of a breather level. Like, it wasn't too difficult. Like, the boss there was not the hardest. It was still challenging, but it wasn't the hardest boss. Like, the boss after Virgil is a lot easier than Virgil. It is. Like, it's supposed to be a lot easier than Virgil. Like, you just have to, like, jump and use Swordmaster. That's probably the best way to do it. But you have to actually pay attention to what the boss is doing. So you are learning a new method of play by fighting a new boss. But, like, when you're fighting someone like Virgil, like, they're supposed to test everything. And in terms of Painkiller, like, the levels that are the hard ones, like, for example, there's a reason why Prison is locked to Nightmare difficulty only. Because if you play Prison, like, and you've, like, only just beaten the boss in Enclave, Prison is ridiculously hard, because all the enemies have automatic weapons. So, well, aside from the, like, Hell Angels, they just have a, like, baton, which they whack you with. But the thing about it is, with that section, it's actually easy if you know what you're doing. Well, it's not easy, but it's actually kind of easier than Opera House if you know what you're doing, in a way. Like, when I did my Let's Play of Painkiller, and I went through Opera House and Prison, you can clearly see which one I had the easier time with. It was Prison. Because in Prison I knew exactly what I was doing because I'd already played the game before. But if you're playing the game for the first time and you're going through Prison, it's going to be insane. Because suddenly all the enemies use, like, automatic weapons, like chain guns and stuff. And you have to know how to deal with that. And it's kind of like a shoot first, ask questions later scenario, where you have to actually, because you're in such a closed-in environment, you can actually take advantage of that by actually, this is ridiculous as this section, it really is. Like, you can actually take advantage of it by actually, like, using the closed-in corridors to your advantage, so that when the enemy appears, you can just deal with them quickly with the shotgun. And that kind of makes things a lot easier in the long run, because when you realize, like, where the enemies are coming from and where they all are and where you can get them, you can, like, plan your way through it. Like, you can, like, hit them when they just appear, and it requires reflexes and reaction timing, but once you have that nailed down, you won't have any more problems with Prison. You know what I mean? I mean, it'll still be hard on paper, and it'll still be hard on the surface, and if you do screw up, you will be punished for it, big time. But once you get to know the level and you know what you're doing in it, it's not too difficult. Like, you kind of get the gist of it. And it's still a difficult level, even when you go back to play it, but it's just not as difficult, you know what I mean? And to me, that is a sign of a good game. When you can have sections where you feel like you've gotten better at a game, where you've mastered it. When you have a section like Prison, which is really hard the first time round, but the next time round when you play it again, it's a lot easier, that's just a sign of good game design, because you've managed to teach the player skills that they didn't have before, and now that they have these skills, it's a lot easier for the player to play through the game, and they feel a lot more confident when they're playing through the game a second time. And players are supposed to feel that, because when they get the confidence to play through, like, look at this, he's just doing a barrage of, like, constant barrage of shots. I don't know when he's going to be shooting. Right, now he's going to start shooting again. Yeah, I have to, like, guess. I just want to get to the end. That's all I want to do. And now I'm basically fucked again because I get hit by it. Like, did they really have to add the extra, like, stun effect, which takes half an hour? It's like trying to eat food in Odin's Sphere Lapis here. Like, let's make everything take half an hour just to piss off the player. But, like, Prison was a really good level for that reason, because it was kind of like a wake-up call. In the sense that all the enemies are really tough now, and you have to deal with a new type of enemy. But then there's other levels which are really hard, like Train Station, which... Train Station is kind of different, because unlike Prison, where you have more closed-in corridors, Train Station is a lot more open. And you also have to deal with a new enemy, Skeleton Soldiers, which have really powerful melee, as well as range. Even though the range isn't really powerful, well, that's the thing, they don't use ranged attacks often, but they do, which can take you off guard. And that can get really annoying at times, but eventually you get better at that level too, because with Train Station you learn how to, like, you get a rocket launcher chain gun. Like, and it's kind of smart how it does it. Like, the first part of the level, when you don't have the rocket launcher chain gun, you're actually in a closed-in area, which, like, you're in a sewer section where you're in a closed-in area, which, like, where you don't have, like, the game knows that you don't have access to the rocket launcher. The game knows that you don't, so it adapts itself to that knowledge that the player doesn't have that ability, so they don't put the player through shit which they obviously can't handle yet. And that's why the first section of Train Station is in a sewer, because it's more contained. So you can use weapons like the shotgun, and even the stake gun, and the grenade launcher. But when you get to the open sections, they give you a rocket launcher straight away. And that gives you the tools you need to deal with that section. And now you know how to deal with, like, large open sections. And the game makes it really difficult. It's like, yeah, you get this rocket launcher chain gun, but don't start thinking that you're suddenly a god just simply because you have this weapon. The game's gonna kick your ass, and it's gonna make you know that you're its bitch. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I like about that level. As really tough as it is, it's the level that gives you the rocket launcher chain gun, so of course it's going to be hard. And then you get Factory, which is quite possibly one of the best levels in Painkiller, because that, like, everything from the music to, like, the situation you're in, it's basically the level where it's like, that's it, the training wheels are off now, it's time to just overwhelm you with shit, and you have to deal with it. And you're just like, yeah, I want to do this, because this is a game where I feel powerful, so I feel that I'm capable of dealing with all that shit. And by that point you do feel confident that you can deal with all that shit, because you've been through the training course of Painkiller for, like, the first 2 chapters. You feel capable of dealing with all that shit, and it's actually enjoyable and exhilarating. Of course you can't lose your momentum, but when you have that momentum, you're in the zone. Might actually have this. Yeah, I might actually have this now, yes. Took long enough. Hopefully I can get to the next checkpoint quickly. Right. But yeah, like, that's the thing that makes Painkiller so good, you see. That's what makes it stand out. There's a lot of reasons why. Don't say that you're going to do another hit, because that was impossible to dodge. Like, it was. Because I moved so slow. God, this is just trial and error, is this? This is what this section is. I just want to get to another checkpoint, that's what I want to do. Please. There is no way anyone ever did this section first time. Hopefully there's no enemies in this section. Oh, there is! Yep, this is just a pain in the ass right now. Like, I can't even see where I am now. This is just ridiculous. But this section right here is stupid. This section right here is just carelessness. Like, you make the camera, like, ridiculously zoomed out so we can't see what's going on. And now you make it so that we're invisible. And now we're getting chased by these things. Like, what were you thinking, developers? Like, this is the problem that I have with Yoko Taro. He doesn't think things through. Like, he's not a very good director. Because if he was, then he would be thinking about all these things. But at the same time, I do kind of like appreciate the guy because he's trying to do things like that are different and trying to break the mold, which I can appreciate. And he's trying to actually do things like he's not afraid to try new things, and I can truly respect that.
And get it running. I can get 2B and everyone else out of here.
Right, so can I just do that? Aha, there we go. Hopefully I don't get hit too much, because I'm already on low health. Brilliant! What a wonderful section that was.
It's me, 9S.
9S?
I can easily say I prefer 2B's section.
I'm controlling it. I'm gonna break into this factory systems and get you out of here.
Appreciated.
But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed to hear that 2A's is going to get worse than this. Like, I was honestly thinking that 2A was going to be more like 2B and like more action. But if not, then that's actually quite disappointing. Oh shit, looks like there's enemies. Right. I thought it was only 9S that I had to deal with.
There we go. First door unlocked. 2B, keep going straight.
I'm actually proud of myself for having got through that section, to be honest. Like, considering how freaking unfair it was. It's like, sections like that are just trial and error. It's just unfair. Like, I believe games should be fair to the player. And give them the tools they need, and just present them with situations that overwhelm them. That's what I believe. Like,
Door 2 disabled. The door's open.
it depends on what you mean by
Correct.
insanely tough, I guess. Like, if it's insanely tough in the sense that they don't give you the tools and they change the rules up, then I'm probably not gonna like it. I mean, I kind of expect it to be tougher because it is later on in the game, but it's like, if it's completely different styles of gameplay that I have to suddenly get used to, then it's going to really annoy me. Like, if it's going to be like, suddenly you have 1 life, and if you get hit once you die instantly, then yeah, that's going to piss me off. Like, I don't really like it when games change their rules. Like, you've really got to have a consistent set of rules in video games. Like, you really do. Because otherwise, players lose that satisfaction of mastery and they just feel betrayed by the game. Right, no doubt I'll die even more times to a boss if you're dying to it. I mean, I'm playing on normal difficulty, by the way, in case you're wondering. Not on the harder difficulties. Oh, it's one of those, is it? Bullet sponge. Project Gestalt report. Is that something to do with, like, the original Nier? So I remember it was called Nier Gestalt. But yeah, hit point sponge enemies. I've already had my fair share of those in this game. Like, I don't need any more of that. But fortunately, because 9S has his hacking, I haven't had much problem when it comes to dealing with those hit point sponges. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going at this point. I'm just basically wandering aimlessly, trying to find out where I'm supposed to go. I don't even know how much health I have, because there isn't any information as to how much health I have, so yeah. Do I only have 3 chances, or is the game going to be more lenient with me? Nope. Oh, right. At least the game's been lenient here.
It's open. Exit route secure.
Another thing that I do want to talk about.
Alert. 2B is currently engaging a machine life form of significant ability. Said machine is drawing electrical power from the factory itself. Proposal.
So basically, most of the rest of like 9S's section is just going to be hacking. Is that the way it's going to be? Just the rest of 9S's sections?
I got it. I've been keeping an eye on you. I'm gonna shut off power to the factory now.
Do it!
I'm taking this is what 9S's story, like 9S's side is going to be, just basically all this hacking. I'm guessing that this is what it's going to be, just nothing but hacking. Yep, I guessed it then. Pretty much.
Factory system at 50% control.
Well, at least it's going to be over soon, I suppose. Like, we know it's just going to be hacking, which the hacking itself isn't that bad. I can put up with this section. They're actually some of the better of the shoot 'em up sections, just simply because the camera doesn't change all the time and it's more consistent, you know what I mean? And it does give you some chances. So I don't really mind the hacking sections themselves. I'm not really against them as such. They're a different way to play, I suppose, but I don't completely hate them. Like, compared to like sections like the freaking actual shoot 'em up sections where you are in the like, that was great. I'm gonna get myself killed already because I got hit already. Oh, we have to fight Eve with the freaking hacks. That's gonna be brilliant. Oh, but that's brilliant. I'm just going to kill myself again. But I don't honestly mind these sections as much as the other shoot 'em up sections because they don't change the camera. It's just that I'm terrible at shoot 'em ups. That's the only thing about it, really. I accept that. Like the game, these sections are not bad. Definitely not. It's just that I'm shit at them. But the sections, like for example the so basically I don't even know what I'm supposed to actually shoot because those things have shields on them. I mean, I'm kind of weird with games because I'm a thinking type person who likes action type games because I can't stand slow pacing in games. I can't stand it. So I like action games because they are generally much faster paced than like more strategic games. And that's kind of the way it is, but I'm terrible at action games. But I just can't cope with like slow paced thinking games, you know what I mean? And when it comes to thinking games like puzzle thinking games, fuck that. Like, I'm not into methodical games at all. Like, I'm into experimental games. So, like, games that make you think, that are experimental, I dig that sort of thing. Like, but
90%.
the
92.
oh
95. 98.
But the game has to be designed in a way that actually oh shit, this is going to be bad for me, isn't it? Yep. And I get hit twice again, I might as well just finish the job. At least it saved the checkpoint here though. This bit is a bit fairer than the last bit. Like, this is the thing, like, I just love to have mobility in a game. Like, I think mobility and ability to move is one of the most important things in a game for me. Like,
2B,
like
I just shut down the electrical grid.
the more ability you have to move, the more flexible it feels, and the more capable you feel. I've noticed that when I'm playing Shadow Warrior, which, yeah, it's like Painkiller, but it doesn't have the freedom of movement that Painkiller has. It does have the dodge ability, which is cool and all, but is a bit more limiting than Painkiller's bunny hopping. And I've gotten so used to Painkiller's bunny hopping that it's just so difficult to come to grips with these
Grant me the
new
mercy
elements.
of the land. Oh, grant me the joy of the heavens. Release me from my yoke of iron. Thus shall our souls be saved. Forever and ever. Forever and ever.
I don't know why they picked an abandoned factory for all this though.
Those were the words I heard in the moon server. But why?
Alert. 2B has defeated the Goliath-class heavy weapon unit.
Well, at least that's something done.
Right. Okay, good.
Now, what's the next hacking section I have to do? What's the next section I have to do?
9S.
Commander.
I'm sorry. You're needed back at command.
Understood.
Right. It's kind of interesting, I'm not gonna lie, but it is kind of annoying. Like, it's like, I've got this sword, but what's the point? It just feels pointless now. I've gotten this sword for basically nothing. I maxed out this sword for nothing. I mean, sure, I'll get to use it in 2A's playthrough, but I'll probably end up using a different weapon for 2A anyways, because, like, I want to mix things up, you know what I mean? Like, I want to try different weapons, see what they all do. Oh. The commander's here.
You left quite a trail when you accessed the main server.
That's what I wanted to speak with you about, Commander. I found records stating that the Council of Humanity was established as part of Project Yorha, but I'd always heard it was the other way around. So did Yorha actually create the Council of Humanity?
What is the Council of Humanity?
Yes. We installed the Council of Humanity's server on the surface of the moon.
But that means...
Mankind no longer exists. In truth,
I see.
humans never went to the moon at all. Any transmissions
So
received
basically,
from the
they
moon
are basically
just dummy
machines.
signals we set
It's a
up
bit
in
like
advance.
it's a bit
The
like
only thing
the
there is a
Lore
small bit
City
of data relating
in
to the human genome.
But why would you...
in Legend of
Humans
Goo.
were already extinct when the aliens attacked. All the details are stored on this memory chip. If you want to look at it, I won't stop you.
Wait,
Now
you're
that
just
I do
giving
think
me
it's
this?
pretty interesting.
But why?
No one fights without a reason. And we need a god worth dying for. What path will you take? It's up to you to decide.
Why is the commander telling you this? Like, shouldn't the commander be saying, you belong to us, you have to do what we tell you to do?
Why? Why did you have to die? It's not fair! My only brother. Damn them!
He's looking at those candles. Oh, were they lit? I don't even know.
I swear I'll kill them all!
The human race is... gone. How do I
So,
tell 2B?
Emergency protocol, code F2. All Yorha members are to report to combat stations immediately. Repeat, emergency protocol, code F2. All Yorha members are to report to combat stations immediately.
Combat stations? I better get a move on.
I mean,
Alert.
I can still kind of
Mission orders
accept
received.
things as they are without
Rendezvous with
humans,
and support
because,
Unit 2B
let's be
near the
honest,
resistance camp.
Any details?
Large numbers of machine life forms are rampaging through the city
well, people
ruins.
are actually running
What?
around now.
How? They're supposed to be weakened.
Cause unknown. Goliath-class enemies also confirmed. Immediate action advised.
But yeah, like, the machines are interesting enough for you to not give a shit about the fact that there's no humans. Because the machines are pretty much humans, really. If they weren't, then they wouldn't have any personality whatsoever, and they'd just be lifeless characters. Which is obviously what this game is trying not to have. Which kind of contradicts the whole idea that they're machines. Ooh, we're gonna get a space shooting section.
2B! You okay?
Alert. All communications are currently being jammed.
We better hurry.
Let me guess, it's gonna be in America. Or is it gonna be in Greenland? Because that's where it seems to be heading. Everything's in America these days, like, no other country, either that or Japan, I suppose, because it is in Japan, but Like, some Japanese games are just set in the US. Like even Star Wars Until the End of Time showed the Statue of Liberty. Like, and that's supposed to be a Japanese game, but it still showed the Statue of Liberty in it, in the intro section. Oh boy, we've got Goliath flag here. So, looks like I'm gonna have to... Oh shit.
Goliath-class enemy sighted.
Well, that was one way of dealing with it.
2B's black box signal detected nearby. She is likely engaged in combat.
Bandit key.
You okay? Good thing I landed that direct hit. Uh-oh.
You'll die. All of you are going to die.
Oh, we're here already. That kind of went quick. That's one of the things that always makes me laugh in all these games. When,
me! You okay?
like when they actually have like...
Let's take this bastard down.
Right.
When they have like things like Planet Earth in games that have like fictional stories, like I just find it kind of weird. It's just like in Star Ocean as well, like how they had Planet Earth in that game. Like it just feels weird. It's like in Planet Earth you don't have like, I don't know, it just feels weird when like all these crazy JRPGs have all these like real world settings. I mean, it was acceptable in Shadow Hearts because everything was kind of like this occult sort of thing going on. And like all the abilities that you had in Shadow Hearts, for example, well, many of them were kind of like based off of like, they kind of represented like sort of like cultural like sort of occult stuff in a way. You know what I mean? Like for example, Keith, or Bandit Keith if you want to call him that. Like, he's kind of got all these, like, Transylvanian folklore abilities, you know what I mean, being a vampire and all that lot. That kind of made sense because this is, like, folklore established by, like, our world. But when you have, like, things that are just so weird that it's beyond recognition, and you have Planet Earth involved, it just kind of feels a bit disorientating. It's just like, I'd rather you came up with your own fictional world if that's the case, you know what I mean? But in Shadow Hearts, it kind of makes it's kind of good that they do it that way in Shadow Hearts. Oh god, I was close, but no dice there. But yeah, I just find it a bit disorientating when you have like Planet Earth in like games like this. It's just like, no, Planet Earth does not exist in this game. If it did, I'd be worried. You know what I mean? Like in Star Wars Until the End of Time, I get what they did with it, because like in Star Wars Until the End of Time they were doing like that plot twist which could truly apply, like it could really apply to reality, like it really could, what are we to know? But like, it's just so crazy that, like, considering the fact that it's a JRPG, it's expected to be like that, you know what I mean? Right, so now we can basically kill it, I guess. Wonder if I can speed up the process. That's another thing about this game. The fact that they added like shooting. It kind of feels like I'm playing Devil May Cry 2 a lot of the time. Because I'm just basically just holding the shooting button. Right, so... yeah, basically I'm aiming at that thing, seeing if I can actually do anything with it. Yeah, like, that's another thing. Like, look at Sephiroth's Supernova. But that's the thing. Have you seen Sephiroth's Supernova attack? Where they show all of the real world planets, like Neptune, Pluto, well not Neptune, but they show Pluto, Jupiter, all that. That's the real world. Like, that's the real world. Like, it might not be planet Earth, but they are real planets mentioned in Final Fantasy, but they're actually in Sephiroth's supernova. You could consider that to be an inconsistency if you want to call it that, but it kind of is, like, in a way. Like, it is the actual real-life solar system in Final Fantasy. Maybe it's something they slipped up on, who knows. But it would have been cool if Supernova showed, like planets that were actually, like, fictional. But I just don't think they had the creativity to do that. That's one of Final Fantasy VII slip-ups, if you ask me. Yeah. And that's the thing that makes it even crazier. Like, if it is, like, the real-world solar system, with logic like that, like, what the fuck? That's what I'm going to say. But, like, having, like, Jupiter in a game like that... Oh, yeah, I'm going to grab that machine core. What are the machine cores for, anyway, if you don't mind telling me? Because I don't know what they're for. It would be nice to know.
Now
this could be called the Fire.
Coming? What do we do? There's too many.
2B? 2B, can you hear me?
Great.
Our village is under...
Pascal? Come in, Pascal!
Shit.
One thing that makes me laugh about this game is that they make out that Pascal is actually a dude, yet he has the most feminine voice of all time. Like, but really, they're kind of not gendered in a way because they're machines. So why call Pascal a he? Like, it makes no sense to even call Pascal a he. But yeah, fuck logic. Yeah, that's exactly the thing. But yeah, it is implied that Final Fantasy VII is set in the same solar system as the real world. That's either a slip-up, like a major slip-up, or maybe it was intentional and the game was just crazy like that. But yeah, I do think games should really start having more fictional worlds and stuff. It's like Warcraft has Azeroth and Argus and Draenor. You know, these are worlds that are completely fantasy, and because of that you can accept all the crazy nonsense that happens in that series, you know what I mean? Do I go to the Resistance camp or something? Where am I actually supposed to be going? I guess I'll go here just to, I don't know, see if there's anything. I love how these guys are just chilling. Oh, maybe not. Oh, no, they're actually dead. But the Resistance leader's just chilling here, I guess. Just like, I'm just gonna chill here. Because, why not? Even though the serious business is going outside. I'm guessing I have to chase the thing. If so, I'm just going to take the deer. But yeah, like, I always like it when, like, games can have fictional worlds, and then after they have a fictional world, they're not afraid to do crazy shit. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like Valve Profile, for example. You can kind of let that slide because even though it's based off Norse mythology isn't even real to begin with. It's a mythology, which basically means it's not real. You know what I mean? But I suppose who are we to know? But it's a myth, so it's never been proven a real concept. So yeah, you can get away with that shit in a game like that. But like, when it's just planet Earth, it's just like, it's kind of weird, like, that all the crazy shit is going on in planet Earth. Put simply, if you're gonna do the crazy shit, I recommend actually, like, creating your own unique world, naming it in something unique, and maybe giving it some unique properties, you know what I mean? It's like, for example, like, the Tales series have unique worlds with unique properties. You know what I mean? Like... Oh, shit. we need to see like more fictional worlds in games like this, and not have them trying to be like the real world, because like it's not the real world when you can like jump this high. I know that you're an android, but come on, like machine parts weigh things. They have a weight. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to easily jump this high as a machine because you have weight. You know what I mean? And you can only have some, like, you can only hold so much before you start becoming really heavy. It's like these machines, for example, when you like when you jump with a machine, it just feels wrong because they're just so like they're made out of metal, solid metal. They're going to have some heaviness to them, so you can't like just jump like ridiculous heights like they actually do when you control them. Which that's one of the things that took me back when I played this. It's like surely I'm not going to be able to jump very high with these machines, but funnily enough, you actually could. What, in the year 4000, weight is no longer a thing? Like, weightlessness is an actual concept? I actually don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. I've completely forgotten what I actually did the first time. But I guess I'm just gonna kill some shit, because why the fuck not? Well, I mean, it's sort of like having these theories about possible end of the world, but let's be honest. We've had games that are realistic that show that already, you know what I mean? Like, or somewhat realistic. It's like, for example, a zombie apocalypse in real life is probably more likely to be The Walking Dead than it is to be... I'm trying to think of a crazy zombie apocalypse. Let's just say a demon apocalypse like Devil May Cry, you know what I mean? It's more likely to be that than what Devil May Cry is, where you have people like... I mean, Lady's supposed to be really a human, but she can just do crazy shit that is just normal human beings cannot do. So, yeah, it's... You're not really supposed to take them seriously, and I think if that's the case, having a fictional world is more beneficiary because it makes it more believable. I'm not saying that it has to be that way, that it should be law, because it like, I can still get into it, it's just that I think it's something that these games should keep in mind. Like, you want to be crazy and over the top? Good, I like that sort of thing. But it might be a good idea to actually, you know, have a completely new world to do it in, rather than being just set in the future or something, because, let's be honest, in the future, like, we aren't going to be having things like F-Zero in the future. We'll have something like F-Zero, probably more like Wipeout maybe, but we won't be having anything like F-Zero in the future where somehow you have, like, it's like, even if we did have things like Cosmoternal, which is a giant space elevator, like, no one would pay for that shit. Like, no one would pay for that shit to be made. Like, it wouldn't be viable to have it, you know what I mean? Right. I honestly don't know where I'm going right now. Like, I'm guessing that... Yeah, at least not in our lifetime, but even if it does happen, like... It's going to have a more closer to being realistic sort of look to it. Like, you're not going to have comic book characters. Everybody suddenly becomes steroid copper, like... Well, maybe they will have steroids in the future because they'll find a way to make them healthy, who knows, but they're not going to be like... people aren't all going to be wearing spandex in the future. That's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? Because people still like regular clothes. You know what I mean? Like, why would people be wearing spandex in the future? Like, I mean, it's a cool idea. It's cool, like, in a crazy way, but it's just not going to happen. Like, in the future, people are still going to be wearing the same clothes as they always have. Because people don't think of practicality when it comes to fashion. I think that that's been proven countless times. Like, they think of, like, we're going to have something that's completely outrageous and we're going to wear it because fuck everything. This is fashion. And because fashion is a thing, I don't think everybody's going to be wearing spandex anytime soon. even if it is the latest fashion, like fashion trends change all the time. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be completely a thing. Like, yeah, sure, people who are actually going to go into deep space, they're going to probably wear safety gear, but when they're not in deep space, they're not going to be wearing the spandex. You know what I mean? They're going to be wearing normal clothes. And in F-Zero, like, it's supposed to be crazy and outrageous, but I don't know, like, is there a nerf in F-Zero? I don't actually know if there is. It says that it's in the year 20s, like in the 20 some century or something, but it doesn't really say that it's actually planet Earth. But they all seem to be on different planets, like, which is, it seems fictional to me. Like, Mute City, what planet is that on? It's a city, it's a planet. But they're all on different planets. Now, my philosophy is that it's set in the same universe as Star Fox. Because, like, if you look at it and all the worlds in it... Someone just got a Falcon. Why didn't you run away? You should have run away as fast as you could. Like, that's what... If I saw someone dressed as Captain Falcon for Halloween, I would run. Like, even if they were, like, trick-or-treating, I would have just run the fuck out of the way, because the moment I give them something, like, the treats, they would have Falcon punch me in the face. In a way, that whoever was dressed up as Captain Falcon, they knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Because I wouldn't fuck with that guy. That's scarier than any Halloween costume, because, like, it's fucking Captain Falcon. It's like somebody, it's like Chuck Norris coming to your house and trying to break in and wanting candy. You're not even gonna try and give him candy, you're gonna run, and then you're probably gonna die because you run, because even if you did give him candy, he'd still kick your ass because the candy isn't good enough for Chuck Norris. You know what I mean? Let's put it this way, if Captain Falcon or Chuck Norris turned up to your house wanting candy, you know you're screwed. Just even if you gave them the candy, you know you'd be screwed anyways, because they'd screw you over. They would never be happy with it, because nothing's ever good enough for them. So basically, it's basically just, you know you're fucked. It's the end. The first thing you should do the moment that happens is just start writing your will. You know what I mean? Just start writing your will, so that, make sure you have a good funeral planned out. Just tell them to hold on for a minute while I just write my will, and then try and escape through the back door, and then eventually they use their vision of, like, I see everything vision, well, stupid ladder, to find you, and then eventually they kill you without even being near you, because they just need to think about you dying, and that kills you. Yeah, I don't know where this boss is. Like, I'm just fighting random enemies on the map. I don't even know where, like, the boss is. It's somewhere in the air, I'm guessing. Like, maybe I'm supposed to go over here, I don't know. Let's go on the map, see if the map has any... where I'm supposed to go. Is it up here? This is where I'm supposed to go? Right. Good to know. Because now that I know where I'm going, I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Damn it! They're here too!
Because I have the tendency of just, you know, killing shit that are around, like killing everything around. Like, another reason why I like Painkiller so much, because it's a game that's about killing everything. And that's usually what I do anyways, is kill everything, because fuck it. If it's there, I'm going to kill it. And that can take time. You know what I mean? But yeah, these guys go down pretty easily though. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't seem to be in a good mood. I can't even see him on the camera. So, I'm supposed to hack the guy, I guess? Or do I actually shoot the guy? I don't know. Because I can't actually see the actual thing that I'm going to be hacking. What am I actually supposed to be doing here? Okay, what was that? Right. Use the auto aim button. Ah, I see. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. I suppose that'll be helpful though. Is that the... Oh shit, that's gonna be nasty. I take it that's the... It's not really doing anything. I'm pressing the... like, L2 button, which is the lock on, but I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Or is it this button?
You saved us.
Thank
you so much.
What happened here?
The machines on the network all went berserk at the same moment. I think the unit presiding over them may have gone mad.
It's Eve. It's gotta be.
If we destroy this presiding unit, will it stop the rest?
Most likely, yes.
Pod, I need you to locate Eve's current position.
Location has been detected and placed on map.
We'll take care of
What
Eve.
I don't get is why is
worry
Eve
about
a
keeping the
bloke?
village safe, okay?
Isn't Eve supposed to be a woman?
Do be careful.
Brother.
This is going to be fun, I can tell already. Because this battle when I did it with 2B was a nightmare.
What is this?
Now what? Ah. And here you are.
Nice tattoo.
I know you two feel the same. That this world is utterly meaningless.
Not really.
As far as I'm concerned, my brother was everything.
Just enjoy the view of the forest, buddy.
Everything must die!
It's a nice view. You should go there.
Why did you kill my brother?
Right, here we go. Here comes the really tough part. Right, that went well. Yep, hack him again. Whoops. Oh, I see that. I see where this is going now. I better not. Yep, I screwed up. Oh well. Let's try this again. Bit of trial and error. That's all. Right. Gotta go around. Kill that. Try and get through that. No, failed. It's kind of like you've got to go around in a pattern. You know what I mean? Well, I've seen happier people. Whoops. Right, so he's up there, is he? So, fortunately, the aiming of attacking in this game isn't that bad, so I don't have to be like 2B and have to try and reach him. But there are some advantages about playing as 9S. You don't have to deal with some of the bullshit that 2B has to deal with. So you can target things from, like, a lot easier.
Alert. Massive energy signature detected.
Well, massive energy signature is about to be fucked. Because I can hack. Unfortunately, this is a very difficult hack.
What is it?
The energy seems to be coming from a large number of linked machine lines.
Like, this was a nightmare as 2B because you didn't know how to get through, you know, like, kill the guy. Because like he has so many, like, 1 minute he's in the air and, you know, but as 9S, so far it's not as bad, but I have a feeling it's going to get worse. Whoops.
He's absorbing the life force of whatever's left on the network.
Ah, I see where this is going. This is a hacking battle, isn't it? I need to use my Uber Elite hacks to win this battle. Well, that went well, didn't it? And yeah, I kind of wasted it. Oh well.
Damn it!
That could have
I'll
gone a
never
lot
get anywhere
better.
like this. I'm going to try hacking into Eve and...
Right. Let's try this again. This one's a lot easier. Oh shit! I ran into that one. And there's more. Right, here we go. There's another hack.
Back me up, 2B!
On it.
Oh, I see. This is where the tricky section comes, isn't it?
Shit! Stupid barriers!
Well, I can only do my best, I guess. I do find it funny how this is the representation of the last boss. But at least there's 9S thing. Here we go.
Brother, oh, brother.
This is going to get ridiculous.
Why?
Yep. Ow, that was a bad idea. Right. 2 paths. Which path shall I go? Or are they all the same? Yeah.
I needed nothing else.
Oh, that failed. Whoops. This is gonna be hard, isn't it? Right, at least I've got a checkpoint here. Right, I got past him.
What is this?
Alert. Disruption detected in Yorha Unit 9S's self-consciousness data. Corruption potential critical. Evacuation recommended.
Can't. Not when I'm this far in.
There's nothing worse than save corruption. Right.
My brother was everything to me. My life was contained in our moments.
Alert. Corruption confirmed in Yorha Unit 9S's self-consciousness data. Immediate evacuation and treatment recommended.
Just a little more. If I can remove Eve's object control function.
Do I have to destroy every single black bit? Well, I obviously haven't. Oh well. I'm not gonna go OCD on this one. Right. Here we go. Uh-oh, what's this?
Listen to me, Adam. I never disliked fighting, but I didn't want you to be hurt. And I especially didn't want to lose you. So let's go somewhere quiet. Together, my brother.
Right, so this is where it's gonna get tough, isn't it? I'm guessing. course the sword breaks. That's something that always bugs me in games when, and I know it's not the case in this, but when a character's sword breaks and then suddenly it's fully repaired. Right, so this is going to be where things start getting tough again, is it? Whoops. I need to remember that those guys fire in a specific direction. Well, that went well. Yeah, got to avoid that. Well, I've seen worse. I've been to hell in Diablo 1 and that was as close to this as it ever will be, so yeah. And that was literally hell. And yeah, hell in Diablo is basically bullet hell because you get hit by tons of blood stars. Okay, what was that?
Alert. NFCS destroyed. Close range combat no longer operable.
So now I have to save the day, I guess. Can I not that?
Nothing matters anymore!
Whoops, that went well. Right, I need to... Oh crap. So, this is where things are going to get rough, isn't it? Because I can't see where he is. Aha, there he is. Basically, it's all about being careful as this section, isn't it? It says close combat isn't operational, but oh god, I can't even move barely. Yeah, this ain't gonna end well. Fortunately, I can heal.
I'll erase you! I'll erase everything!
And there we go. How can you stab someone with a blunted sword? How does that even make sense? I mean, you could slash them with a blunted sword, like slash their head off, but...
Finally. It's over.
Well, I did use an item, Strider. And I had tons of items, so... If I didn't use the items, I would have been fucked.
I really screwed up.
Now he's joined the dark side of the Force. You can tell because of his eyes.
I must have been corrupted when Eve detached from the network.
No.
It's okay. I can always reload my backup data from the bunker.
But you'll lose
Yeah, it's
you.
pretty crazy.
The you that exists at this very moment.
Guess so. But we can't upload this corrupted data to the bunker. So...
9S.
Yeah, if they loaded the corrupted data to the bunker, imagine the chaos that would happen.
I want you to do this for me.
Now, who are these two? maybe this is important to the plot. Those two characters. I have a feeling they are. But yeah, I'm taking it this is the end of 9S's story. That's another thing that I don't understand. How are robots crying? You know what I mean? Like, how do they process tears? What function would that serve? You know what would really make this interesting? If they actually started, instead of tears, oil actually started coming out of their eyes. And that would kind of make sense after what was going on in the story. Like, they'd just been battered and bruised. Yeah, that would probably make sense.
There's still some alive.
Now, I thought that what we were going to do is actually hack the robot.
Goddamned machines!
Like, I thought that was what we were going to be doing, like, hacking the robot, and then eventually, like, you have to do, like, the real final boss, which is actually hacking the robot. That 9S becomes. That would be interesting. But I suppose it just gets hacked out of nowhere, I guess. Now the thing I want to know is, does 2A's story continue on from this point, or is this the end?
Wait a second, 2B.
Who are...
But what I also want to know is, how did he...
data in the machine side of things.
How did he
Next thing I
somehow
knew,
manage
my
to
sense
get
of
into that
self was
machine?
regenerated over the surrounding network. Having multiple selves fused
I'd have
together
actually
like
liked
this
to
is
have
a pretty
seen that.
valuable experience, so I wanted to record it. But I couldn't access any storage areas yet. So I just multiplexed it over the memories of some nearby enemies, so that when I returned to my own body,
Inez. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
But it would make sense for me to see it from 9S's perspective, like how, like, he manages to get a hold of this machine and get his consciousness in the machine. At least
And
to
so,
me.
the final battle with Adam and Eve came to an end. This battle will likely have a great effect on the outcome of the war. 2B and I, our battle will continue for some time to come. But that's another story, for another day.
And I guess that's the ending of 9S's story. Or not to be. Yep, there's the other ending, I guess. It's just weird to see the credits again. It's like, do we really need to see who made the game again? Like, it's like, this is so important, you need to read the credits so that you know, like, so you know exactly who made this, and we will make damn well sure you know who made this. Pretty much. Oh, you can skip it, nice, because we've already gone through the credits. I don't need to see them again. It's starting to be like Sniper 2, where you see the credits at the end of every single, like, scenario. But not as bad as the Sniper 2, where the credits have to roll. Like, no, you can't. Oh, I can move. Goddamn time. Yeah, it's all about getting those credits on, you know what I mean? Giving players some reason to look at the credits. Yeah, I can still pick up items during the credits. Yep, pretty much.
Hey,
Wait, no, this is a lie.
I was waiting for you. I needed to give you this.
Need to give you drugs.
Say,
E-drugs.
2B. No, never mind. Just be careful.
Planning preparations complete. Confirm equipment delivered to quarters.
Yeah, this game feels like something Hideo Kojima would make. It really does. It feels like, that's the silly thing, it really has that Kojima feel to it. Well, I can actually go in the menu and check mail. Oh no, not the menu, I actually have to go to the terminal, don't I? I keep forgetting that. But I'm kind of looking forward to the next story, to be honest, because I can't even interact with the terminal. So what's the point in getting mail then? Oh, yeah, you go in here. I see. The preview.
Remember your pain. The pain of having your homeland stolen. We will never give up our struggle. We will take back the seas, the skies, the land. We will take back our world from the scourge of the machines. We will not fail in this mission. Here and now, we will put an end to this goddamn war. Glory to mankind. Glory to mankind.
I'm guessing this is where the game really starts to step up its game and shit's gonna get real now. At least I'm gonna guess. But yeah, that ended sooner than I thought it would. Most of this stream was just me failing that section where I had to jump over that guy's bullets. All I'm gonna say is I better brace myself for what's to come. I don't know, should I just start the next chapter now? I might as well. Yeah, I've got A, B, and G. Yeah, I'll make a start on 2A since the last one was pretty short. Aside from that bit where I was trying to get through that freaking conveyor section, that section was just horrendous. But it'll be nice to actually see from a different perspective for once.
We've confirmed that the network core units known as Adam and Eve have been destroyed. The enemy's chain of command has been thrown into complete chaos. As such, humanity has chosen to seize this opportunity and launch an all-out attack against the machine forces.
Because why not?
Of course, the forces of Yorha will participate in this endeavor. Remember your pain. The pain of having your homeland stolen. We will never give up our struggle. We will take back the seas, the skies, the land. We will take back our world from the scourge of the machines. We will not fail in this mission.
Why didn't you just give him this equipment from the get-go?
Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind.
That's what I don't understand. If this equipment was necessary for such a mission, why not give us that equipment right from the get-go? Right? Why not build it into the machines? Or the androids?
Please return to the server administration room as soon as possible to handle a capacity issue. End transmission.
Like, if it's that important to have this gear on, why not just build it in with the machines? Or the androids. I keep calling them machines, but it's the same thing, come on. Right. So basically, the mission is Operation Leroy Jenkins.
Before I could convince myself to tell 2B the truth, Our final major operation had begun. Still, at the time, I knew nothing. Not how the battle would end, nor what fate stood in wait for us.
Well, at the end of the day, this is a game, and in every game there's got to be some kind of conflict, be it a war or the, like,
And those
Tetris
are your
block.
orders. Do you understand?
The scanners are going to hack into the enemy's anti-air system and shut it down in advance of an all-out assault, right?
That's right. Good job, 9S.
So
why are you
still
talking
playing
to
as
me like I'm a
2D9S
child?
at the moment.
What? That must be your imagination.
Okay. I have no idea what's going on.
Look for machines that are receiving signals from the anti-air system. They should be located in elevated areas with good signal reception. I forwarded the general positions of the machine life forms you need to hack.
Roger.
A hacking mission then.
Please refrain from destroying the target. If you do, another one will simply take its place.
No killing the target. Got it.
Ah, I see. Well, of course there's going to be something up here, isn't there? Like, am I even going to... Oh, what's this? I see a box. So now, I guess I'm going to the top of this Goliath. Yeah. Don't know if there's any music playing.
The target is thought to be in a high location with good network reception. Try examining the rooftops of buildings.
Roger.
Why not tell us that one of them is on the top of the Goliath? That would be more specific. Right.
I see your hacking was successful. Way to go!
You're totally treating me like a kid.
Now move on to the next one.
Fine.
Right, I see where this is going. Now I've got to get to the next guy. Or whatever the hell it is, building thing. In any case...
Alert. Exiting the planned operational area. Proposal. Return to the operational area immediately.
I could do that, but I've got a prompt to start fishing, so I might actually do that instead.
Commencing.
Be advised, the target's appearance is identical to that of a standard
Because
enemy.
I know we're fighting
Once you
a war,
approach,
like
however, a marker will
a
appear.
massive
Is it
war,
me, or does it seem like they're getting smarter?
but fishing is more important. If it actually catches something. There we go.
Catch confirmed.
Oops. Wrong button.
Complete.
There we go. Now I need to find out how to get up to the top of this thing again. I think I just did. I'm not sure if that is a robot fish, but I think it is. I think they're all robot fishes. They look like them to me. I have one time caught a pod before. Like I caught a pod and it had like a electro driver style attack. Well, it was more like a painkiller laser style attack, but it was pretty awesome. There's an oil pool in the desert. I guess I'll have to check that out at some point. How am I gonna get up there? Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Unit
That
9S,
wasn't
your
my
orders
fault.
are to hack into enemy units, not destroy them.
But it was about to
Destroyed
blow
units
up.
will simply be replaced. Attacking is pointless. Try to sneak up behind your foes, keep out of sight.
Oh yeah,
and
sneak up
then,
behind an enemy that's trying to
boom,
blow up.
Hack them up good.
Okay. Boom? Is she serious?
Right. Here's the enemy up here. Ah, there we go. That's not my fault.
You destroyed it again.
No, it
You have to
destroyed
hack
itself.
them. Hack, hack, hack. They'll substitute another enemy soon, so try again.
Got it.
Maybe if I do it from over here. Oh, it's like the game developers are trolling the player. That's what it's like. Because it's like, yeah, we know that you're supposed to be hacking and all, and we know that the enemy that you're fighting will blow up if you get too close to it, but we expect you to hack it before it gets too close. And we're gonna blame you for it.
Defensive system operation confirmed to be declining.
Almost there.
Right, so now we have to go up here, I guess. By elevated sections, I thought that they meant buildings, but apparently it's like freeway bridges. But how do I get up there? Do I have to go up the tower? I guess I do. Yep. At least it's easier to get up this tower than it is the towers in Far Cry 3. So what I don't get is if the machines will be replaced, why send an attack squadron with like fully armoured attack squadron to take care of them, when you could just send hackers to hack them all?
Looks like it's going well down there. Every scanner in the force is involved in this operation. So let's
What's
try
2B
not to
doing
fall
then?
behind.
Yeah, no falling behind. Got it.
If you're not supposed to kill
9S,
them.
What is it?
make sure to do whatever is necessary to avoid combat.
And how will I provide support to the squad if I don't fight?
Scanner units such as yourself are not designed for battle.
Aw, are you worried about me?
No, I'm merely pointing out that you would be a liability on the battlefield.
Wow, that's harsh.
Right, so I need to kill this guy.
Analysis. It is not possible to hack directly into the target Goliath-class machine lifeform. Special software protection detected. Enemy is refusing access from anything other than machine lifeforms. Proposal.
Okay.
Unit 9S should commandeer a smaller enemy and use it to hack the large one.
A little multi-level hacking, huh?
Right, so how does a small enemy hack? Right, I didn't know machines could hack, but apparently they can. Well, I suppose if androids can hack, then machines can, but are these machines even programmed to hack? Right, remote control then. Like, look at how high they jump. Like, that's just not real. But at the same time, they walk so slowly. It's quicker to just jump with a robot than it is to actually walk with one. It's a bit like bunny hopping in a way, but bunny hopping is a bit different because, like, you still don't move super slow, and you don't jump up like ridiculously high either. So, yeah. Fortunately, they shoot themselves things. Those are not bad because you can just shoot them. the actual black balls that are the bad things. And you have to watch out for them. Anything that's black is evil. In the hacking in the game.
11S to 9S, come in.
9S here, go ahead.
Just about wrapped up here. How about you?
Just one left, I think.
Roger.
So,
be sure to head back to the bunker when you're done so you can sync your data.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Until your combat data is uploaded, none of the scanner models can run updates.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one way.
I'll take care of it as soon as I'm
done
here.
How do they teleport back here? Just because the robot went down there doesn't mean that I should have gone down there. So much for not destroying them, even though I hacked them. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of them. They're like frogs. I mean, that goes somewhere, but it doesn't go high enough. I think I'm gonna have to go to the forest now. Just simply so I can get out of here. It's the only way I can get out. Oh wait. No, I can't even go this way anymore. Because they've blocked it off. Somebody has decided, oh, we're not going to let anybody in the forest anymore. Right, who's the smartass that put that block back there? Why would they put that block back there? How did they put that block back there? Right, I specifically pushed that block down. And this is obviously after I went around it, because Adam and Eve are dead, so... Yeah, I'm going to combat. Screw it. See you guys. Yep. Robots are frogs. Oh, I completely forgot this bit. I really should have gone this way originally, because I actually went down here and I got stuck down here at one point and I didn't know how to get back up. Now I know where to go. It's up here. Maybe this is the way, this is how I got out. Oh wait, maybe, oh yes it is, this is the way I got out. Because I went the other way before and then I realised, oh, I couldn't actually get to the top, but yeah. Now I can. So now I just need to find the other two. I can't mount the moose, which is a shame. One thing that makes me laugh is that the actual, like, animals are more powerful and more deadlier and take longer to kill than the actual robots. Which makes no sense. But, okay. We're in a game where androids have personalities, so I can let that slide. But don't fuck with a boar. Like, if you fuck with a boar, you're fucking dead. Right, so there's a single machine up here. Right, so you have to hack him.
Whew. That looks like everything.
Proposal.
There's
Unit
one more.
9S should rendezvous with Unit 2B before the combat situation worsens.
Sounds like a plan. Let me just mark the point on the map. And there.
Oh, so there was nothing here then. So where am I supposed to go? Up here? So what is 2B actually doing? If you have to hack the machines, then what's the point in sending combat people around, like, to destroy machines? What's the point in that? Ooh. Didn't see this before. Paper attached to a vehicle. What the hell is that?
go.
Oh boy, that doesn't look good. Or does it? I don't know. Maybe it's those flight unit things, but it looks like nuclear warheads that have been fired down on Earth.
2B, the
Right,
operation
so
will
this is
begin
2B
at a
then
point
again.
southwest of the city ruins. Use your flight unit to travel there and meet up with 9S.
Will do.
We've repaired and reinstalled the weapons damaged in the fight against Eve. Be careful, okay? The mission will be in full swing by the time you get there.
I will.
And
So
thanks.
why are we destroying things now? Like, weren't we supposed to subjugate the machines and not destroy them?
For all of our brave androids fighting on the surface.
That's great. That.
Our elite Yorha forces, the pride of humanity,
I still have my
have
healing on, so
defeated two enemy network units known as Adam and Eve. This victory is a giant leap forward in our quest to reclaim Earth. The moon rings out with the cheers of the entire human race. We look forward to your continued combat exploits.
right.
Glory to mankind.
So yeah, I'm going to just go up close to this guy and just smack him. Yeah, that's how we do it. At least I have a sword to cut through the attacks with this, I suppose. It's like dodging between bullets is never something that I see as being easy. Ah, we're in all range mode, you know that calls for. Time to slash like a crazy madman. I guess we call it all range mode because of Star Fox. Whoops. Here we go. Healing time now. That was good, that. Yeah. That's the one thing I will say is good. I can just easily heal my way through problems. Right, so now I need to deal with these guys, I guess. And I don't want to be up close to them when they're doing that, do I? Right, there we go. Yeah. Starting to get the gist of it now. I mean, I'll give this game something. At least you can actually dodge backwards and forwards and to the left and to the right in this game. In Odin Spheres, like shoot 'em up sections, you can't. It's like, why did they even bother adding shoot 'em up sections in that game? Like, they weren't even needed. You know, there's one thing this game's missing, and that's an ice area. Like, it would have been nice to see like an ice area, like kind of like a sort of ice age look sort of thing.
The
like
operation
more
is underway, and a
futuristic
few
ice age.
squads
That
have
would be
already
cool.
engaged the enemy. Our orders are to function as a kind of guerrilla unit that provides support as necessary. I forwarded our squad's current
Alright, see you,
positions to your
Strider.
map. You should head over there ASAP.
Sounds good.
So now I have to basically get to all these points and kill these things. Oh!
Hey,
oh.
this is a
I
machine
thought
I've
this was a
hacked into
completely new
before.
area, but it
I'll set off the delayed virus to see if I can damage it physically.
it's nice to actually play as 2B again. Really is. I like finally being able to actually utilize the second button But why are we actually killing enemies now? Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. The painkiller laser lookalike thing. Because that thing looks just like the painkiller laser.
This is 4B, Captain of Vanguard Squadron Alpha. We're being worn down by a fierce enemy attack.
This is Guerrilla Unit 2B. We're on our way.
A guerrilla unit?
Roger, and
I
thanks.
suppose if you call it a guerrilla unit. It's kind of undermining what we do. We're like an army, that's what we are. Well, it might as well be an army, because screw it. I can shoot shockwaves out of my freaking, like, sword. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I would say that I am a... What's that? Those guys don't look very, like, strong. They look pretty weak. Yeah. Gotta get back into it, the whole, like, using a different button rather than just smashing. It is pretty awesome to use the lance. It's a cool weapon and I've missed it. Yeah, this laser pod is really awesome. I really do like this laser pod. Maybe I had it with 9S, I don't really know, but it's so that I never used it with 9S.
Thanks for the assist.
We're heading out to support other squadrons.
We'll join you and provide further backup.
So, why are we now destroying machines
This is Unit
when
8B
we've
with
just
Attack
come back?
Squadron Omega. We've gained control of our assigned zone. Heading out now to provide support elsewhere.
This doesn't really make sense to me, but okay.
This is Unit 7B with Vanguard Squadron Delta. We're currently pinned down by a number of machines that appear to have lost their minds.
This is Unit 2B. We're heading over now.
Machines
to
have
provide
minds?
support.
Since
Roger,
when?
2B. Much appreciated.
They have artificial intelligence, but not actual minds. This is why I love this laser, because we can just shoot through enemies. It's like so satisfying to use as well. Yeah. It's nice to actually have the full combat system again. Here's hoping that 2A will, or A2 or whatever she's called, will have the same sort of combat system. Or similar. Right, so... oh, yeah, we actually have to kill these things. Simple enough.
Thanks for the assist.
We're heading out to
that's
support the
gone
next
then.
squad.
Understood.
So the next one.
We'll join you there and lend a hand.
All right.
Man, I can't see a thing.
Alert. Detecting an unusually high...
This
Right,
is 3B,
so-
Captain of Theta Squadron. The enemy machines are multiplying in front of us. We
Well,
can't
maybe
hold
we
this
should be
position.
destroying them then. I thought we were supposed to subjugate them, that was the plan. As I recall, but apparently not. Right, that's one way of, you know, them. It's a really cool weapon to use, is that laser. In all seriousness. Yeah. Whoops, that went well. kind of do the healing thing. Fortunately, I have plenty of them. Right, so that's that guy down. Oh, I'm making tons of money here. It's just this group here that I need to use them again.
Thanks. We'll join you, if that's alright.
What?
2B, we've sighted new enemies in the region. They've got Attack Squadron Omega surrounded and are giving them one hell of a fight. Can you get over there and provide support ASAP?
We're on it. Man, this is tougher than I thought it would be.
We need to hurry.
I've just noticed that the music in this section is like got these. It's the same music as the city, but it's got these epic choir chants now. Like, where are all these massive
This is
bomber
Unit
things
2B.
coming from?
We're in position to provide support for Attack Squadron Omega.
Are we ever glad to see you? They came out of nowhere. We were fighting for our damn lives.
Stop
If
complaining
this
and
keeps
start
up, we can
killing.
win. 9S,
But
scan
we're all
the area
fighting
to
for
see
our
if any
damn lives.
reinforcements are on the way.
You got it.
It's nice to finally be able to have a good combat system. What the hell? I didn't know they had slinky springs in their head.
To me!
Oh dear.
Are you okay?
EMPs.
Let my guard down. EMP hit me point blank. I gotta reboot.
I'll provide backup.
Okay. So now I have to...
They have visual camouflage? What the hell's going on here? I have to protect 2B!
Okay, we're back to this guy again. There we go. At least you have a good weapon. Oh shit. What are all these things that keep hitting me? Can I change the top? Yes, I can. If only I knew that before. What the fuck is going on here? Okay. Am I supposed to be standing in that? Are you actually shooting, or are you actually killing them? I don't think that you can kill. But okay. No, I can't even kill. Oh, I can. Right, that makes things easier. And I can also hack, so yeah, there's that as well.
Damn it! There's no end to them. I gotta finish them off and help 2B.
Right, let's... Oh shit, here we go again. Let's see if I can actually keep them away with me. Oh, that went well. Well, I might as well hack this guy. Even though hacking is a lot harder in some ways than actually just killing. There we go. There's another hack. Right, so now we need to finish the rest off with just melee. I think that's probably going to be the best bet because there's a large group of them and hacking them is not always going to be... Oh shit, what's going on here? Yeah. Am I not allowed to dodge now? Seems like I can still heal, that's all that matters. So my dodge function is disabled, isn't it? Right, let's just leave it to the thing because I can't see shit. Let's leave the pod to do it. Pod can do all the hard work for me.
Alert. Exiting the planned operational area. Proposal. Return to the operational area immediately.
Right, so what is going on here? Right, level up. It's supposed to be going over here, aren't I? Okay. Is this going to be endless or? I can't see a thing. Yeah, this is just... I don't care why you're doing it, game, just please stop doing it. It's annoying. Another one of Yoko Taro's wonderful ideas. Let's blur the screen out. Because, fuck it. I get that it's trying to do it for the whole narrative, but I can't even attack, like... What the fuck? Just run around with a pod and hold the button. That's probably our best bet right now. Let the pod do it. Probably the best thing to do. And that guy has a lot of health as well. Right. Can we just kill this guy for it right now? Right, he's dead. That was a pain.
You okay?
Wait, you're the one in the combat gears, Ruby. So much that ever did, like... Why, what's the point in this combat gear?
Is this a wide area virus? To me!
Alright, what do I want to do then?
This viral attack. The EM...
We must have to hack them. That's the way we have to do it, I guess.
I gotta do something. I have... To be, you okay?
Right.
The hell?
We just hack them all then. It's that simple. Just hack them all.
They've been infected and taken over.
No. Wait, what? Attack functions aren't working.
Fine.
That's because of their Yorha IDs. 2B.
Can I hack
I
them?
need to hack into you and fry your identification circuit.
Do it.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. Right, so let's go here. Quickly go this way. Oh, I could have gone that way, but well, I'm gonna waste time and go this way. I'm glad I did now, considering all that. Right, there we go. Identification signal function? What?
Pod, report our status to command.
Alert. All communications are currently being jammed.
God damn it!
So basically, we're gonna have to kill them then.
I located the unit that's jamming our comms.
Why we can't hit them, I have no
Target
idea.
location data obtained. Marking on map.
Oh, there we go. We can hit them in the air. I thought for a while we couldn't. Right, now we're going to just... Yeah, let's do this. How about it? Right. Huge, but it's pretty low level compared to everything else. Based on the damage that they deal. Holy shit. I'm just obsessed with picking everything up. I can already tell that Boss and Burst won't like this game. Having to pick all the shit up, that was one of his nitpicks. Yeah, who's laughing now, bitch? I got you in the air. And you. What I don't get is, what's controlling all the machines now? Probably some reason why all these EMPs are suddenly on the machine. It can't come from out of thin air. Nice. Whoops. That's bad. Ow. There we go, there's another one down. Right, is that all of them now? Oh no. This must be a wide-scale virus, because it seems to have affected the entire city. What's going on now?
The jamming is coming from that thing!
What thing? Oh, this is it. I see.
That should take care of the jamming.
Pod, send an emergency distress signal to command.
Yeah, you thought you could get me out.
Connection lost. Unable to reach command.
Damn it! They're still jamming us?
Signal reception is clear. Connection lost due to server-side authentication failure. No response is coming from command on any channel.
Shit, what happened to the bunker? I can't keep doing this forever.
2B, I have an idea.
Yes, we can.
It's possible to access the bunker through a back door in the system. I can use that to initiate an emergency upload of our personal log data. Then we set our black boxes to self-destruct and take them all out at once.
What?
Sounds good.
Data upload 30% complete. 50% complete. We just hit 70%.
Are
You
you
can
done
just keep
yet?
killing them. How about
Almost.
that?
We're at 92%. 2B, your black box. Log data upload complete.
Things weren't going so well in here. I didn't know that this was a rugby match. Okay, so what just happened there?
We have to report back to command.
Right. Let's save the game, and I think this might be a good time to call it, to be honest. Because we got through the first section in the next ending, so... Yes. No, not about that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time I do a stream of Nier Automata. And just for the record, I will also be streaming Odin Sphere Life is Here, but I'm not going to actually have those public because those are mainly going to be for my screen capping. So if you do see that, that's what it's for. So, sorry about that. You're not missing much anyways, so yeah. And I'll see you guys later.